Autumn forewarns of winter's chill. All is golden beneath Notre Dame's dome. Alas, her Fighting Irish are #1 in the land. The echoes have awakened once more. Awaken Irish, the legend of Coach Rockne. The 6 undefeated seasons under Frank Leahy. The inner fires of Ara Parsekian. The lore of Notre Dame is not only golden, it is bronze. From Bertelli to Brown, Lujack and Latner, Hart and Hornig. The bronze figure of Heisman has made a record 7 visits to South Bend. The trophy's 8th appearance here may be merely a blast-off away. From Rockne to the Rocket, resound the echoes as yesterday's glory is once again Notre Dame's challenge today. What you're looking at is one of the most famous venues in all of college athletics. Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana. And this afternoon, the top-ranked Irish play host to the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Franklin, and welcome to the second game of our triple header here on ESPN. This afternoon, it is Holtz against Paterno, 2 of the best on-the-field coaches that college football has ever known. As far as Notre Dame is concerned, 4 times this year they have had to use the luck of the Irish to come from behind and win. And right now, they're in the top spot in the ratings. As far as the Nittany Lions are concerned, they dropped their 2 opening ball games, one to Texas, then the second game to Southern Cal. But since then, they've rattled off 7 straight victories. Gary Danielson is with me on the telecast this afternoon. Gary is down on the field, a place that he knows well, having played against the Irish in the stadium as the quarterback for the Purdue Boilermakers. And Gary, you might give us some insight as to playing in this famed old stadium and also the keys for this afternoon's ball game.
All right, thanks, Ron. I don't know about getting strategy for me with the success I've had here. It's kind of like asking Custer how to fight the Indians. But today I don't have to do it on the field. I can do it from the box. So let's say how Penn State can whip the Notre Dame today here in South Bend. First, when Penn State has the ball, Notre Dame's defense is vulnerable. Zorich is still banged up. They'll go to a 4-man line today to try to protect him. Tony Sacca has to have the game of his life. Look for him to throw today, and if he can complete about 60% of his passes, Penn State can put some yardage and points on the board. Flip side, the Penn State defense, it's the rocket factor. They have to keep one eye on the rocket and one eye on the ball. The thing they have to be careful about, though, is not fall in love with the rocket and let somebody else beat them. Ricky Waters is playing good football now, and they have to tackle the guy with the football. The reason I'm not in the box and tell you this, though, is the X factor. It's the crowd, it's the enthusiasm, it's the fans real close. Penn State must concentrate on the players on the field. If they can play the 11 on the field and keep the fans out of the game, they have a chance to upset Notre Dame today. From the other sideline now, Neil Lomax is going to give you a little bit of story about an emotional senior day today. Neil?
All right, Gary, today's not just the last home game for the Fighting Irish. It's the last home game for the senior class of 1991. Today is senior day. 27 members of this football team will be introduced to this capacity crowd. Names like Zorich, Stonebreaker, Waters, Light. They're all great players. And Lou Holtz, the master of the motivational speech, takes this opportunity to address the underclassmen in the locker room. He's saying, where are my leaders? They're out in the field right now. You guys have got to step up and meet the challenge and beat this Penn State team so we can send this senior class out as winners. Ron?
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Penn State at Notre Dame. Is brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental. Because it's your money, call 1-800-FOR-CARS or your travel consultant. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. And by Heil Furnaces, the energy savers. And down in the tunnel, here come the Fighting Irish for the final home game of this 1990 season as the seniors have come back to join the underclassmen. And in about 5 seconds here, they will come on to a Capacity House roar. Light. after this.
As a kid in business, I learned the meaning of a buck 1 penny at a time. Hey, it was...
Notre Dame Stadium, Notre Dame, Indiana. What a magnificent day. Is right now it's just after 4 o'clock in the east, and what has been just almost a cloud-free day about to end. Joe Paterno, 25th season with the Nittany Lions. 227 victories for him. And on the other side of the field, well, Lou Holtz has been a head coach for 21 years, 5 of those here at Notre Dame. 45 wins, almost 80% his winning percentage. And a look at the Rocket, and you can see that he is asking the locals to stand up and make some noise. And Gary Danielson, probably the most interesting thing will be to see if Fayak will actually kick off to it, because so many teams have tried the high lob kick or the kickoff to the side, the line drive.
Here's
and here
a quick kick type kickoff.
Taken by the short man at the 29. And he will take it to the 32-yard line, Kenny Spears. And let's take a look at the Irish on offense today. Rick Meyer will go at quarterback. Behind him, Ricky Waters and Rodney Culver. Ismail, along with Tony Smith, the wide receivers. The tight end is 6'7" Derek Brown. And up front of the offensive line, Mike Helt is the center. Tim Ryan and Jerkovic are the guards. And the tackles, McGuire and Sandre gets the start in the place of Justin Hall, the right tackle. Ricky Waters on the carry, and let's take a look at the starters for the Nittany Lions. Jim Dieter is the nose tackle. Giannetti and Benfatti are the defensive tackles. The linebackers, D'Onofrio in the middle, along with Goganis. On the outside, it's Rabati and Reggie Gibbons. In the secondary, Leonard Humphreys and Bona. Willie Thomas and Darren Perry are the safeties. Bettis comes into the lineup, checking in at fullback. Waters out close to the 45-yard line, and Notre Dame will be scrimmaging with a 3rd down and 2 as Dieter, along with Gibbons there to make the stop defensively.
Darren Perry, also the hero back. You know, Ron, what we talked about in the pregame, what an impact Rocket has on the game when he doesn't have the ball. Look at the field position Notre Dame gets because they don't want to kick it to the Rocket to start the game. That's fantastic field position.
He hasn't touched the ball, but he's affected the game in the field position. Yes. Meyer with an audible possibly. Linebacker blitz, and that's where they run it. And Notre Dame will have the first down as Brooks fights his way out to midfield, and Rich McKenzie has him at his grasp, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale.
Well, McKenzie's kind of the sack master on this Penn State football team. They'd like to get him in there and rush the passer. Notre Dame in a situation where they can run or throw, so they have the game in their hands and they can keep the Penn State defense a little off balance. Good first down, getting out of the blocks for this Notre Dame offense.
Culver comes back in as Bettis and Culver very interchangeable, size-wise and ability-wise. Brooks to the right side, trying to work off the block of Sandre and also Jerkovic. But Goganis, Keith, who's a junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, steps up to make the hit. It's going to be a short gain. 2nd down and long coming up.
Both coaches like to start off the game and play it a little bit close to the vest. They know they have a winning tradition. They don't want to throw the balance with a quick turnover to the other guy. Play it close to the vest. Let's see how the running game starts.
Lake Dawson in the game at wide receiver down at the bottom of the screen as Meyer comes with the option. Not much there. Good job defensively by the Nittany Lions. As Benfatti is at the bottom of the stack, and also you see number 99 McKenzie, and Dieter is in there someplace as well.
Well, Dieter and Benfatti and Giannetti and Goganis and everybody has to play the run. You know, we talked about what a factor the Rocket would be, but look at Notre Dame. They had success last year running the option. They try it this year. You never know what's going to be the key point in their attack. That's why they're so tough to defense.
3rd down, they need the 40-yard line of Penn State. Meyer, great protection, drills it complete to Tony Smith at the 30-yard line of Penn State. And there is the first down. That's Humphreys making the stick. yards, Gary, on the completed pass.
Penn State ran a little blitz with their linebackers. Tony Smith had man-to-man coverage. He's the second leading receiver for this football team. There you see the inside linebackers come in. Meyer reads the hot to his left turn and delivers a very easy throw. Nobody in his vision. Nice to get off that way. Nice, easy throw, pitch and catch.
You know, Joe Paterno told us on Wednesday no trick plays, and he opens the game with a trick kick. Little counter action. This is the Rocket, who goes off the left side as Notre Dame will move him from that wide receiver spot into tailback. And particularly late in the ball game when a defense might be tiring a little bit, but here they use him early.
Well, Rocket is so effective in that fourth quarter, and you're right, Ron. They pound on him and pound on him, and all of a sudden when the Rocket gets the ball in the fourth quarter, it's like a different tempo. It's like a change of pace, and he's very effective.
Sean Davis in at wide receiver, goes to the right. He's a junior from Tulsa. Waters in the pitch, there's running room. Gets one block, but it closes up in a hurry, but he's inside the 25 into the 22. Perry and Humphreys combine on the stop for the Nittany Lions.
Ricky Waters is really coming into his own here, running the ball. He had 174 yards last week versus Tennessee. You know, there was some talk that he was a little bit in Lou Holtz's doghouse. We asked Coach about that yesterday, and Coach said, no, it's just a little way I handle him. You know, he's behind the team, and he just finally got his chance, and he's ready to play, and he's playing very well for him right now.
Straight T in the backfield for the Fighting Irish on this 3rd down and 2. Waters. He will score. Ricky Waters was his 8th touchdown of the year as Oranges are now covering the end zone and still coming onto the field. They can't kick yet because as they pick them up, they're still coming down. And Lou Holtz is out asking the fans, don't do that.
You have to admire Lou. You know, he calls the offenses, he's involved in the defense, and he's in charge of crowd control during the game, too. This is one of the games, you know, of course, the Oranges is for the all the rumors surrounding Notre Dame's lockup with the Orange Bowl bid, and they're going to sign it impending next weekend. But that's when you kind of wish you were in the Cotton Bowl. They throw cotton instead of oranges. They don't hurt as much.
Kick is good by Hendrick. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish go on top by a score of 7-0. Yeah, Lou did not want to start off with poor field position after he has just had a magnificent drive down the field, eaten up time off the clock, and gone on top 7-0.
And they did it with a dead tee. You know, there's a lot of formations in college football, but they're going back to the old dead tee. It shows you when you can run, you can block on that offensive line. This Notre Dame line is so good. Nice cutback by Waters right there, and he is running with his eyes open, good vision, and he's a very impressive back.
Irv Smith.
This one's coming right at you. Irv Smith, number 84. Let's see if we can catch his block. There it is, the left side of your screen. Ricky reads it with the good vision, breaks it back, the cutback runner, and he's dancing into the end zone, 7-0.
Mr. Waters, senior from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
You know, we talked to Lou about what has been the change in Ricky. And he said sometimes Ricky had a tendency of trying to go 50 yards before he went 5 yards, trying to make something happen. Just go for 5 yards and let the big plays happen. He's learned to see the field a little bit better, and he's become a better running back. Remember, in 1988, he played flanker, wide receiver, so he's still learning the game. A very impressive football player.
Stinson Thomas, number 1, and number 21 on the right-hand side of your screen is Shelly Hammonds. Kick is going to be taken by the blocking back at the 16-yard line, and out to the 30 is Mosier, Brian Mosier. The starters for Penn State: Saka opens at quarterback. His running backs Leroy Thompson and Sam Gash. The wide receivers David Daniels, Terry Smith. The tight end is Al Golden. Rob Ludicky is the center. Brezinchek and Huntington of the guards, and the offensive tackles Matt McCartan, transfer from SMU, and Pat Duffy. with a play action on first down. Near sideline, overthrown. Looking for Terry Smith at the 50-yard line. And let's look at the Irish defensively today. And folks are going to be going with a 4-3. They showed it last week against Tennessee for a portion of the game. Zorich and Dahl the tackles. The defensive ends, Devon McDonald and Kowakowski. The linebacker in the middle, Mike Stonebreaker. Last home game for him. Demetrius DeBose and Andre Jones are the outside backers. Todd Light and Rod Smith the corners. And the safeties, Greg Davis and Willie Clark. Boy, you could see the blitz coming. Leroy Thompson gets the handoff and also gets about 5 gold helmets as he steps up into the arms of Bob Dahl. And the Irish now will force them with a 3rd down and 10.
Let's take a closer look. There you see the 4-man front. Stonebreaker's going to hit it right on the snap. He reads it so well. The idea is to protect Zorich a little bit. Don't give him a bubble on both sides so people can hit his knee. But remember, Notre Dame is playing this defense with only 2 down linemen and 5 linebackers. A big changeup. You know, every time you watch Notre Dame, they dial a little different defense each week.
Sack on 3rd down. He needs the 40-yard line. Steps up into the pocket. He will be sacked by Kowalkowski. Scotty, the senior out of Farmington Hills, Michigan, comes up to make the stop. But for the first time this afternoon, we'll see Helkowski averages 40 yards a kick. And the question we had asked Penn State, will you kick to the rocket? We'll see right here.
Well, if they kick it to him, Rod, they got to keep it outside of the hashes. When you give them both ways to go on you, you've got problems.
Angle kick, not straight away. This is a line drive straight to him. The last thing you want. Runs into his own man at the 40-yard line. So there's a timeout on the field. Notre Dame 7-0. Some of the Fighting Irish band. By the way, there's a top 10 for everything now, but AP's top fight songs. Number 1, Cheer, Cheer for Old Notre Dame. Then the Victors, the fight song of Michigan, and On Wisconsin was number 3. What's your favorite, Daniel?
See, I had a part in the top 2 because every time we played them, they played it about 100 times a game. Every time they scored. I heard that. I still hear it in my sleep.
You know that better than you do the Purdue fight song. Play action, great fake by Meyer, and he just throws this one away. Had a couple of receivers downfield. I guess Tony Smith was the closest man to it, but I think Rick realized that there was good coverage by the secondary, particularly Humphreys. Well, he just got rid of it.
Right, he was trying to get the ball to Rocket here, Ron. Rocket's going to come inside and watch him lose his footing as he's going to run the out route. Rick is very good of not trying to force something to happen when he doesn't have anything. He always had 4 interceptions on the year. Lou Holtz loves that stat.
Culver comes in at fullback for the Irish. He gets the handoff on the right side and takes it out to the 45-yard line. You know, you might mention or talk about what we saw in the practice field on Thursday, the fact that the Rocket was not working out and he was continued to loosen his thighs.
There's been a couple little injuries that the Rockets has had this year. He's got a little bit of a thigh right now problem that he has to keep loose and stay loose.
Bruise?
I think it's a little bit of a pulled thigh, and he's okay, but he said he's 100%, but everybody's 100% on game day, but it has been troublesome to him.
He's back in the ball game as they go with 3 wide receivers to the right and nobody behind Meyer. Over the middle to his tight end, Derek Brown. Hang on, here comes a truck. Down to the 31-yard line, Darren Perry on the stop.
Well, I tell you, you talk about something that they haven't seen in Notre Dame ever in the history. How about no backs in the backfield? I mean, you shake up the legends with this one right here. It's a little delay to the tight end. It's a play, it's a control play, so he's giving you a lot of fluff, but it's a very safe pass, and they get the ball into the hands of a very, very skilled football player, Derek Brown. He's averaging 14 yards a catch this year, and he's a tremendous football player.
A big, skilled player at the 6'7", 243. This time it's Culver as they cross up Penn State and take it up the middle. Goganis is hanging on, but inside the 25. And the first 2 times that the Irish have handled the football this afternoon, there has not been any looking back.
These are bad omens for the Penn State defense. Remember, they got ripped last year, basically with an option game led by Tony Rice. But this year, Meyer and Lou Holtz are giving a little pass, a little play action. Jerry Sandusky, the defensive coordinator, has got his hands full with this offense today.
Second down to play with, actually, because he needed just about a yard to pick it up. Meyer, and I think he missed the handoff. Let's go to Tim Brando and get an update.
Ron, Tom Luke does an excellent job for Ole Miss late in the first quarter. Watch him roll out, run around. He remembers where the line of scrimmage is. That's what's key. Derek Owens, meanwhile, is doing his best to find an opening, and it's a touchdown for the Rebels. They lead Tennessee now in the second quarter, 7-3. They haven't been this good, Ron, since you went to school in Oxford.
Right after leatherhead gears. Yeah, that goes back to the Vaught era.
Ron, were you Archie Manning's favorite receiver there? There was a guy in between there once, wasn't there?
That actually is really saying something ugly about Archie. I'm a lot older than he is. Irish, 5 times they have rushed the ball this afternoon for 43 yards, and it has all been tackle to tackle where they have done the damage. 2 tight ends in the 3rd down and short. Meyer takes it straight ahead and looks as though he has the first down at the 21-yard line. D'Onofrio down at the bottom of the stack.
We asked Notre Dame offensive coordinator when we met with him, Pete Cordelli, what he thought the strength of this football team. And of course, you know, you look at Lou Holtz and you look at Meyer and Rocket, and those are the people that get all the publicity. But he said his front 5, his offensive line is what made this team go this year.
Ryan, McGuire, Helt, Jerkovic, Hall, Sandry. Waters tries to turn the corner, and he does. Knocked out of bounds at the 14, now they say the 13-yard line. And Penn State had outside containment, and Gary, they kind of underestimated his outside burst.
Well, that's just a simple pitch play, but the key to this play is Rodney Culver, number 5. Watch the fullback. To play a good I formation football, your fullback has to get it. He gets to that outside knee and springs Waters to the outside, and Waters is a thoroughbred. He gets the corner, and that's a big play from the 22-yard line to run it down for 9 yards like that.
43 yards now for Waters on 5 carries, and of course he scored the touchdown. This time it's Brooks. Cuts it back, and he'll score. Zone, here come the Oranges. Coach Holtz went on the field and asked him a while ago if they wouldn't do it. This time, not quite as many.
Well, if you bought an orange to throw, you got to throw it. I mean, that's why they sold them out there.
Got up early, went to the market, all that trouble, so you're going to throw it. Hendrick to attempt the extra point. Craig, only a sophomore from Godfrey, Illinois.
All right, so you wanted to play college football and you dreamt of facing Notre Dame. This is what it looks like on the field. They're getting into the secondary too easily. Nice read by Brooks. He gets this. I notice how he switches the ball to the outside arm, gives a little straight arm and into the end zone. Lead block again. The fullback makes it go. Taking out the linebacker, breaks it across the field. Little straight arm action. 14-0.
So let's take a break. The Irish 14-0. Only 6:34 left in this opening period. I say only. Notre Dame has handled the ball twice, and they have done nothing but positive yardage every time. In fact, we'll show you the yardage in just a moment. On the ground, the ball is fumbled and recovered by Penn State at the 31, so they'll take over with decent field position.
I-formation football, the isolation play. Watch number 5, Rodney Culver hit Mark D'Onofrio. Clear out the hole. Mark has to get up there and fill that hole. That's too much room for Tony Brooks to cut back and prance into the end zone. Now you're the linebacker. Take on that big fullback. Up, he takes your legs right out from under you. You got to get up in there, so he does not have a two-way go if you're the linebacker. Nice play.
Saka fakes the draw. Out in the flat, has it complete to Golden, and the tight end comes up for the first down out across the 15 and out across the 45, I should say. And that is the first positive yardage as far as total yards for Penn State this afternoon. It was 122-0 as far as total offense in this ball game until that pass play.
Well, Tony Saka was recruited by Notre Dame, and believe me, I was recruited by Notre Dame. I know you would like to come into this university and show what you have. Take your team and lead them and do some great things. A lot of pressure on Tony right now.
Leroy Thompson to the left side, breaks it, has 5, has 10, as they are going to give him forward progress to the Notre Dame 40-yard line. And Greg Davis from the strong safety comes up to make the hit.
Defensively, Penn State has not been able to stop the Notre Dame offense, but I like what Penn State is doing on offense. They're opening it up. They're creating a little bit of room with running the ball by throwing it early. Notre Dame will give up yards. They're going to play a soft secondary, a deep zone, and you have opportunities to throw the ball underneath all game.
About an inch or so shy of the first down. Saka over the middle, this time to Gash, his fullback, and that's enough for the first down plus 10. Stonebreaker defensively for the Irish, and now all of a sudden Penn State starts moving the football.
This is what Tony has to do. He has to get a little play action pass, get back in the pocket, look downfield. If nothing's there, take the checkdowns. They're right there in front of you. Back coming from the backfield. Boom. 10 yards. It can't get any nicer than that. Get your stacks, build up, get a little confidence. You're 2 for 3 now. You're feeling good about yourself.
Saka the short drop, and this is a quarterback draw, and Zorich is there to gobble him up. And let's go back to Tim Brando and get a check.
More bad news for Virginia. Sean Moore, Ron, will be out for 3 to 4 weeks. He is undergoing surgery on his right thumb after being sacked in that game against Maryland, a game Virginia lost 35-30. Interestingly, Matt Blunden, the backup, is a forward on the basketball team. Terry Kirby was to play in the bowl game, Blunden to report to the basketball team, and Jeff Jones. Apparently, that may all be changing.
Wow, when it rains, it pours. You could see the blitz coming from Todd Light. Pass is incomplete, as Smith is the man he wanted, but he did not have time to Terry.
Let's go back a couple plays, a little quarterback draw action. Watch Chris Zorich, number 50, at the top of your screen. He's got a bum leg, but he plays off the blocker, comes in and makes the tackle. This guy is an all-American football player. I'd say he's about 50 to 60% out there, but he's such an emotional football player and leader. He's worth his weight in gold to this Notre Dame defense.
A moment ago I said Light in the blitz, actually with number 7, Andre Jones, and they're bringing him again. Saka trying to get away from him, goes long, has his man there for the touchdown, Terry Smith.
Ron, when we talked to Joe Paterno, he said what his defense is doing dictates how he calls the game offensively. Look at the type of plays he's dialing right now. He feels he has to score some points in this game. Hey, is this a Penn State offense? Where's the 3 yards? Where's the fullback? They're letting it go, they're letting it rip, and Tony Saka is responding.
Fayak attempting the extra point. He's good, and we have a 7-point ball game. So let's take a timeout. Notre Dame, 14-7.
I'm not.
Notre Dame 14-7. So after the Irish scored in the first 2 times they touched the football, then Penn State comes right back. Very impressive.
Look what they're doing here. They're leaving all the stops out. Fake the reverse. Tony does a good job of staying with it. He's got somebody to throw to. He finds Smith, puts it on the outside away from Light, and Smith makes it. It crawls into the end zone to make it 14-7. Watch how Smith now is going to set up. We'll get to Tony Smith, how he sets up Light a little after the kickoff, but he really did a good job of selling the reverse, Ron.
Well, here comes Penn State again. They had huddled, and then they do the kickoff, and that's Mahalko. Reserve fullback takes it out across the 37 to the 38, and again, Gary, because of not kicking to Ismail, Notre Dame's got great field position.
Great field position. Here it is again, a little fake of the reverse with the hand. Looks to see if he's got time to throw it. Yes, he does. Comes up in the pocket, throws it on the run, and now watch. Come on, please get this ball. Nice setup by Smith. He beats Todd Light, and a nice adjustment back to the ball. Not a perfectly thrown ball. They never are. He makes the play, sticks his hand down, spins, and he's in the end zone.
Ricky Waters breaks off one tackle and then being pushed back at the 40 by Rich McKenzie. Also, D'Onofrio was there to help double team on him, and it's going to be a gain of about 2 on the play. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8.
Jerry Sandusky would like to get this ball back for his offense and see if they can tie this thing up. He's going to try 8-man fronts, 7-man fronts, blitzing corners, everything he can to try to keep him off balance.
Fake to cover, they come with the option. Waters, that is a great job having played off the block, and Jackson comes up to make the stop. Also, Bonner got hit on the play, came off the ground, and helped make the tackle.
You're right. The true freshman, Derek Bonner, he's their 3rd leading tackler on this football team as a freshman. He's earned himself a lot of playing time, played off the block, kept his eyes up, and made a nice hit coming up from the corner spot.
Just like the agility drills that you run during practice. Notre Dame gets the first down again. They are now 6 of 6. As Meyer got blasted on the play as he released it.
This is an impressive play right here. Ismail is known mostly as a running back, but here he's going to run a nice little route, comes in, coming back to the quarterback. That's what makes it so effective right here. Goes up, protects the throw, and picks up the first down. Nice delivery by Meyer and a nice comeback by Ismail.
Under 3 minutes to play in this opening quarter. 14-7, Irish lead. Rick gonna go long, and he's looking for Ismail. He's there, just beyond his hands.
Ron, he had Derek Brown running down the middle wide open. He had Ismail running to the post wide open. There you are as the quarterback. Let's watch the post route. Can't give up the inside. There's no free safety in there. Ismail's on the go right now. He's got his eyes on it, but just overthrown. As the quarterback, this is how you feel on this. When you let it go, oh, I got 6. I got 6 here. Oh, no.
Great story on him on game day. I hope you got to see this morning at 11:30 with Chris Fowler and Lee Corso and Charlene Hawks. Draw play. This is Brooks. Well, you could hear the leather pop at the 46, and he takes it on down to the 44. Meyer is really the unsung on this football team, and he really kind of likes it that way, particularly as a sophomore.
Well, it is a tough position to play quarterback at Notre Dame. You're going to be doing interviews, all eyes are on you, and Lou's very smartly kept him out of the spotlight. Look at this, 58%, nearly 58% of his passes completed. They can count on him. They say he's some leader. He's going to be a great football player.
See if the Irish keep this 3rd down string alive. Waters breaks off the tackle, and yes, they are now 7 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. D'Onofrio makes the defensive play for the Nittany Lions. But Gary, on that kind of efficiency, whatever they're calling up is the right number.
Well, again, the factor in this, the unknown factor is how much does the Rocket having to do with this? When he lines up at a wide receiver, they've got 4 guys they're playing deep zones, and they're looking to how can they stop him. So it's very, very complicated offense that they're running.
Draw play to Culver. Inside the 35 to the 34, and let's go back to Tim Brando and get this update. Timmy.
Well, on a day when the sugar's gone sour, the roses could start to smell. Iowa needs a victory over Purdue 7-3 in the 2nd quarter, and Michigan State headed for the John Hancock Bowl, only leading by a touchdown with 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter as the Big Ten continues to shake down. Back to Ron and Gary.
Thanks, Timmy. Our score 14-7, Notre Dame, and we're about to hit 1 minute left in this opening quarter. Meyer with the option. Rolls it, and D'Onofrio almost hicks his headgear off. Knocks him down for a big loss, and now it's going to be third down, and Notre Dame needs to take the ball inside the Penn State 28.
Linebacker Mark D'Onofrio, #1 leading tackler for this defense. He's reading the quarterback. He's keeping his shoulders level, pursuing cuts inside the block. Boy, he drills them. Good linebacker play. Give him a throw and give him a little hand job. Give him a little hand action, a little punch action after. Mark D'Onofrio.
He's the leading tackler for the Nittany Lions. A junior from Teaneck, New Jersey. Again, no backs for Notre Dame. Meyer is going to be caught at the 35. It's Frank Giannetti who is there to make the tackle, and they will miss the first down for the first time this afternoon, and they still need about 8 yards. And with that, that'll be the last play of this opening quarter. So there's a timeout on the field, and our score, the Fighting Irish 14 and the Nittany Lions 7. (14-7) our score, and as we open the second quarter, Lou Holtz has decided that he is going to go for a distance field goal attempt on the part of Craig Hendrick, and this ball is going to be placed down at the 43-yard line. So it is a 53-yard attempt, and this would be a career long by 4 if he hits it.
This is always that in-between spot around the 35-yard line when you don't know if you should punt, go for it, or kick it. So we're going to try the kick this time.
Jimmy Sexton is the holder at the 43. It is no good. Just to the right and no good. Hendrick knew it. He started coming off the field. Sexton was still down with his hands on his knees looking and trying to wish that one through. So Penn State gets a stop, and at a very opportune time, Gary.
Yeah,
since Notre Dame had moved the ball the way they had.
Well, each team kind of gets emotion and energy from the other. You know, the Penn State offense went and moved it, and now the Penn State defense feels good about themselves. Know they've got a football game here.
Leroy Thompson turns it up, has 5, has 10, counted off at 13 yards. Out to the 48-yard line, and Gary, tell me something. All of a sudden, why is the running game working for Penn State?
Well, they've established the running game by making the passing game go. They've showed the reverse, they've had play action, and all of a sudden they pop this one through. Watch him hit this hole. Starts at the outside, bang, he's in the hole, into the secondary, makes somebody miss, and is on the ground. Big play.
Second carry for Leroy. Now has 22 yards. Thompson again. They try it to the other side. Good blocking. Turns it up, and he is at the Notre Dame 45-yard line. And let's go down to the field and get an update from Neil Lomax on Mr. Zorich.
Yeah, well, a lot of talk about Chris Zorich and his condition. With me is team orthopedic Will Yergler. What is his condition, and how's he doing so far?
Well, you know, he dislocated his patella 3 weeks ago. The first week he was very sore and very swollen, but he's worked very hard on getting his knee rehabilitated. Last week he helped us some, and this week he's considerably better. I think he's going to help us quite a bit, and it's just each week he's getting better back to his old condition.
So with time it will heal, though. Right now he doesn't look too good. Should he be playing?
Oh, I think so. He's got a lot of determination. As long as he's helping us, the coach is keeping him in there.
Okay, guys, back upstairs to you.
That was Andre Jones, who came from his defensive outside and made the hit on Sam Gash. And with that, the new line of scrimmage will be the Notre Dame 45. And let's make it the 46, and it will be third down.
From the left side of your screen, Andre Jones is going to read the cutback. Gash breaks it back, avoids one guy, but the backside linebacker makes the play.
Third down. Penn State needs the Notre Dame 42. Leroy Thompson over the middle, gives a little head fake. Stonebreaker makes the tackle, but he will have the Nittany Lion first down.
This is what Tony Sacca needs. A little confidence early in the football game. That time, the receivers all went long. The running back came out of the backfield, faked to the outside, and came across the middle. He delivered it. And now your quarterback's 4 for 6, has a touchdown pass already. He's feeling, hey, I'll show you, Notre Dame. You recruited me. I went to Penn State. I know you won 40 games without me while I haven't been here, but I'm still going to have a football game.
Play action by Sacca over the middle, and that one flies high on him. He wanted Daniels down at the 20-yard line. Willie Clark had the cover. Willie is a freshman, 5'11", 175 pounds. That one just got away from him. 14-7. Notre Dame leads. 12 minutes and 51 seconds left until halftime. You know, Lou Holtz mentioned on game day this morning, he said, I don't think you're going to outcoach Joe Paterno. He said he'll find a way. And right now his Nittany Lions, as an orange comes on the field, he said they'll find a way to win. Leroy Thompson bounces to the outside, and he will go no further. Greg Davis is there to make the stop, and now the Nittany Lions with a 3rd down and 11.
Tough situation, run a little delayed draw. When it was stopped by the on-rushing defensive line, Greg Davis had time to find it. Watch it, a little delayed draw from the I formation. He gets stopped inside real quick. When he bounces outside, takes too long. Greg Davis up from the secondary, good tackle, wraps him up. And now it's that long 3rd and 10, 11.
You could see the guard just letting George Williams go by, trying to give token resistance. He almost ran into it, but then the great lateral pursuit stopped the play.
George, a little too big, 300-pounder.
3rd down for Sacca, and he's going to go for it all. Incomplete. It was Drayton that he wanted in the end zone, and he had him partially open for a second. And this is going to be a punt situation for the Nittany Lions. Field goal attempt would here would be about 57, 58 yards.
Good field position, though. They've been able to turn it upside down. They should keep the rocket unless he catches one and bursts out there, backed up, and the Notre Dame Irish is going to have to go maybe 70, 80 yards for a touchdown.
Nowakowski, the first one that he kicked was a line drive kick that he booted it right to the rocket. I'm sure that the coaching staff gasped over that.
About fell out of the booth up here on that one, I think.
And this one very high. Fair catch has been signaled for it. He made inside the 10. So let's take a break. Irish lead by 7. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson here in Notre Dame. Also down on the field, Neil Lomax. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. 14-7. Irish up by a touch. The rocket in the backfield takes the pitch from the tailback spot, and Eric Ravati, sophomore from Freeport, Pennsylvania, the outside linebacker, is there to make the stop. It's got to put a little fear in your heart when you see that number 25 coming at you and you're a linebacker.
Every time you got to find where the rocket is on every play if you're a defense. Jerry Sandusky, the defensive coordinator for Penn State, said he is going to defense the scheme, the Notre Dame scheme. He's not going to defense rocket, and I think that's the best strategy. Get out there, call a defense, and play it.
2nd down and 9. Counter action, Waters. Lucky to pick up a couple on that one as he takes it out to the 12-yard line. Again, it's Ravati making the play defensively. The storyline in this one so far with the Irish on top 14-7. Notre Dame 2 touchdowns in their first 2 drives. Smith, 32-yard TD reception. Ismail, 22 all-purpose yards. 3rd down conversions. The Irish 7 of 8 so far. 1 for 3 for Penn State. In field position has been huge in the ballgame. And one of the reasons Penn State will not kick it to Rahid. Meyer whirls a time and has the rocket at the 25-yard line. Ismail will have the first down plus 6. Willie Thomas defensively.
The Rockets getting the football. Rick Meyer here, nice, calm, relaxed in the pocket. He's backed up, little play action pass, finds the big guy coming across, and a nice delivery right in the stomach. When you throw the ball over the middle, you don't want to be high with it. Those are the ones that get tipped and intercepted. Just keep it down, belt buckle or below.
Waters hit in the backfield, and that is Reggie Gibbons who is holding on, number 58. And Reggie, who played quite a bit last year, a sophomore from Sussex, Virginia.
Played last year as a true freshman. This year he's as a true sophomore out there. And that time he came off the slot, off the wide receivers, and kind of got him in the backfield, came crashing from the outside, and did a good job of getting him.
You know, the two outside guys, both Gibbons and Ravati, both played quite a bit last year. Gibbons was the only one that played more than Ravati, but as true freshmen, that's rare at Penn State.
You bet.
Meyer dumps it out, and Culver, or Bettis, I beg your pardon, drops the football.
Rick Meyer, he's completing 58% of his passes on the year. The reason? Of course, he's got a good offensive line. He's got a good running game, but he's so calm. He's got a lot of confidence in himself, gathers himself, looks downfield, and then he takes the short one. Don't try to make something happen downfield if you don't have to. Yes, look downfield first, but then remember where your checkdowns and your backs are. That's the key to playing quarterback and throwing the ball effectively. You know, Ron, we saw Florida do that so well early in the year. They take the backs if they're there.
On third down, deep over the middle, and again, Ismail, this time at the 50-yard line, and Perry makes the defensive play, but not before the Irish pick up 26 yards.
This was a very dangerous pass, but the speed of the Rocket here is going to make it go. Watch him explode down. And number 9 on the right side of your field, they've got him double covered, but they have to play off. They're afraid of this guy going the distance. Meyer puts it in the seam. Ismail turns back, catches it in his chest, first down.
Well, this drive started back inside the 10-yard line. The Rocket now 3 receptions for 47. Now they use him on the reverse, and is pushed out of bounds in the near sideline. Willie Thomas came over along with Bonner, and it's going to be a pickup of about 4 in the play. Notre Dame looks at a 2nd and 6. He's blowing a little bit there. They've been using him to do everything.
Well, he's getting the ball early in this football game. You know, I tried to get a comparison of who he reminded me of, and it's a guy Lou Holtz coached. Gary Anderson, the great tailback he had down at Arizona, kind of reminds me of what the Rocket can do. He can play receiver, he can play tailback, he can hurt you in so many different ways.
This time it's Rodney Culver. Bangs his way at left guard, and the junior from Detroit is close to the first down, but they're going to spot it now short of the 41, so he'll still have a couple before he picks it up. Well, let's have some fun with this evening. Who is your Heisman choice? Is it Mr. Ismail, Ty Detmer, maybe Eric Bieniemy, Sean Moore from Virginia, or David Klingler from the University of Houston? Call the number 900-786, and you got the last 4 digits there. Cost you $96 to do it. Blitz coming up the middle. Culver breaks it big, and he has the Notre Dame first down. D'Onofrio was coming up the middle, and he got caught in traffic.
Short yardage situation, you're going to try to take the gaps inside. Mark D'Onofrio, number 38 in white, is going to hit it inside. Gets caught up in the traffic, though, and that allows the first down. Whoa, big hit. Rodney Culver is such a good football player. You know, he's the 3rd leading receiver on this football team with 13 catches. He's a blocker, and he's got a 5-yard average carrying the football.
Well, Waters comes back into the lineup. We'll see. Yep, they call his number, and the ball is fumbled as the handoff was not totally clean. It was hard to tell if Waters had already gone by Rick Meyer or what.
Oh, boy.
Official signaling that Notre Dame did, in fact, make the recovery.
Well, Meyer ends up with the ball. Let's try to figure out what happened here. Did it hit somebody's hip or... Yeah, he dropped it coming out. It might have hit one of the offensive linemen. Now, Meyer's got the football, but in the scrum, Penn State grabs it from him. They came up with it, but Meyer really landed on it first. And, of course, once he's down there with it and he had his knees on the ground, the play is dead, so he gets the ball. 2nd and about 16, I guess.
So Waters comes out of the ball game. Tony Brooks checks back in. Number 40. Meyer on the roll, throws it complete to Sean Davis. Gary, the block by Brooks on the outside was devastating to open up the roll.
Ron, look what happened on the backside. Derek Vaughn on number 35 comes in an all-out blitz. It's man-to-man protection. Look at this throw on the run. Rolling out to his left. He puts it to Davis right on the sideline. And, you know, when you can throw the ball coming out of the pocket in the pocket, you're a very valuable quarterback.
Tackle was pretty far out of bounds, but no marker was thrown. Culver this time. Dieter holding on to him. It's going to be a gain of a couple. And Tim Brando, what you got working?
Well, Ron, Notre Dame's next opponent is running roughshod in Tinseltown. Mazio Royster goes 17 yards. That'll set up a robo quarterback touchdown run by Todd Marinovich to make it 21-14 USC. By the way, Notre Dame could lose one of these two games and still win the national championship. Not many teams could do that, Ron.
Just under 7 minutes to play until halftime. The Irish leading 14-7 and driving. They have a second down and 9 at the 19. This is Waters. First and goal, Notre Dame. Goganis and Thomas made the stop, and Joe Paterno can't like what he is seeing right now.
They're hitting it with a little quick draw right here. Watch the offensive line. They come out, they flash with a pass, and they're in on the linebackers. Waters into the secondary, past the linebackers, and running free. Nice little quick draw action, and it's set up because they're able to throw the ball on the run.
Time of possessions, over 17 minutes for Notre Dame. Again, the dead T. This is to the Rocket. Can he turn the corner? To the 1-foot line. Willie Thomas is shaken up in the play, has his headgear off. He is leaving the field.
I'll tell you, out of the dead T, the Rocket catches the ball like a wide receiver. You put him in the dead T, and he looks like a running back. He stretches, and then he cuts back inside the leverage. Runs, almost loses the football there, and then almost gets into the goal line. That was too close for him to score anyway. He hasn't had one that close this year.
Culver, not in. It's going to be second down and goal. Make it Mark D'Onofrio on the stop for Penn State. So it's going to be third down. Third down at about a half-yard away.
Now this Penn State defense is in the top 10 in the NCAA in 3 different categories, and they're holding on right now. Might be giving up 21 points in the first half.
Myers straight ahead, touchdown Irish. That was a 16-play drive by Notre Dame.
All right, you're playing in the secondary for Penn State. Which way is he going to go? Right, left? Nope. Quarterback sneak. Linebackers are dropped back a little too deep. Can't get up there. When you're that close, that's when the sneak is so effective. Just behind the big guys, little jump, hold on to the ball, and you're in the end zone.
16 plays and 92 yards in the drive as Hendrick knocks the extra point home for the 21st point. 5 minutes left until the halftime, and the Irish again by 14.
From the outside.
Well, Penn State has 5 minutes left to work with until halftime, and they're now down by 14 again. The scoring drive, 16 plays, 92 yards, 6 minutes, 55 seconds. And Meyer capped it off with the touchdown.
Meyer came up big in that drive. Had some third down completions, rolled out one time, hit Rocket a couple times. Did a nice job.
Hendrick's kick. Hammonds watches this one go 8 yards deep in the end zone, and he just goes down on one knee. Don't forget tomorrow here on ESPN to set up this ball game tomorrow evening as the Steelers take on the Cincinnati Bengals, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And of course, Chris Berman and the crew will be along with NFL Game Day prior to that, beginning at 11:30 Eastern time.
Bubby and Boomer, huh?
Yep, Bubby and Boomer. Zorich is back in the ball game, number 50, a defensive tackle. Pass is zipped out to Gash, and the fullback will have the first down and comes out to the 35-yard line.
There's the offense. Let's keep doing it. Little play action pass. You have the opportunity with the backs after you fake to just turn around and pop in the ball. Penn State has been vulnerable to this. The Notre Dame defense has been vulnerable to this all year, and Tony should take advantage of it.
Here, Jim Flanagan made that tackle. He's only a freshman from Sturgeon Way, Wisconsin. They think he is going to be a real good one. Leroy Thompson takes it straight ahead for 5, and it's Flanagan again, number 44. He is spelling Mike Stonebreaker.
We had Zorich against Pitt, and he was playing nose tackle. Now they're trying to protect that knee a little bit, trying to get him to do some things with a guy around him so he isn't in a bubble with 2 guys coming down on his knees. But you know what, Ron? He looks a little better in this football game than he looked in practice today. He looks like he's feeling pretty well.
On Thursday, he was very immobile. Saka drills it, and that's Leroy Thompson out of the backfield. Andre Jones makes the stop immediately, but that will move the chains again for Penn State.
Very nice. Take your time. Take those throws. Move those linebackers up, and then something good will happen behind you. Just relax. Take the throws in front of you. There's Gary Darnell. I mean, he's had it tough this year. This Notre Dame is not used to playing defense like they have this year. They're giving up over 400 yards a game.
6 of 10 for 85 yards passing for Saka in this first half. Again, he throws to Gash, and his fullback will have another first down, and Flanagan makes his 3rd tackle on this series.
I'm calling the plays for you today, Tony. Just keep riding that thing until they take it away for you.
Oh, maybe we're premature in the first down. They're going to bring in the change. Joe Paterno's club fell behind 14-0 as the first 2 times the Irish touched the football, they just marched it right down their throats.
Well, you know, you as a quarterback and as a coach, you can't hide game films from a guy. You know, he's watched Andy Kelly from Tennessee last week throw for 399 yards. He comes into the game and goes, Coach, I'd like to throw the football against these guys, and he's going to get an opportunity. I said today he had to throw about 60% if they had a chance. He's averaging 47% on the year. If he comes through, they will move the ball.
Well, he said on the phone the other day, the last 2 games, they've been throwing 24 passes a game, and he said he thought they would throw more today. It's Tizen Thomas in motion. Set up the screen, and that's Leroy Thompson. Has the first down, and 5, 6, 7 more. Let's go back to Tim Brando and get this update. Timmy?
All right, Ron, thank you very much. By the way, Tennessee with a touchdown. Alvin Harper on the receiving end from Andy Kelly just before halftime to make the score 10-7. We are on the phone right now with Executive Director Mickey Holmes of the Sugar Bowl, and we'll have the results of our conversation coming up at halftime, Ron.
Thanks, Tim. Our situation, 21-7, Notre Dame. But the Nittany Lions are driving with a first down inside the 30. Saka. Incomplete. Stonebreaker had the cover on Golden. I'm not so sure that Tony didn't just throw that one away or throw it to the safest spot anyway.
Well, he did throw it away, but he had Leroy Thompson wide open right in front of him again. You know, you have a tendency to do that a little bit as a quarterback. You think, well, sooner or later they're going to cover the guy. Maybe I should look for somebody else. Hey, if the guy's open, give it to him. Why throw it somewhere more difficult than you have to?
Jerry Collins comes into the lineup at tailback. First time we've seen him this afternoon, number 34. Gets the handoff, and Stonebreaker is right there to nail him for a 4-yard loss. Flag is down inside the 5 as extracurricular activity went on after the play.
Watch how Mike Stonebreaker on the left side of your screen, number 42, times the snap count. Tony Saka has to do a better job of keeping him off balance. You can't run a draw if a linebacker's hitting at full speed. David Daniels was called for that downfield blocking. I didn't really see it. He was very aggressive downfield. He threw a block, and he just kept pursuing it a little bit too long. And of course, it was right in front of the officials, and he got called.
And the tough thing about that is the line of scrimmage right now. Gary, that's post-play. They're going to lose the down and the yardage if it happened after the play was over.
You know, and that's such a tough penalty because there's a kid down there doing what he's told to do, go down and block. He doesn't know when he's running down there if the play is going to break for a big one, and the coach is going to say, hey, way to go, way to block downfield. You sprung us for a touchdown.
And that's what happened. They are ringing up third down, so the situation, the Nittany Lions way out of field goal range.
That's a bad call. I don't like that call. There was no way that receiver knew that play had ended at that time. He's down there hustling and he gets a penalty.
Saka to his tight end, and he drops the football. Golden was open at the 22-yard line, and that would have given him about a 39-yard field goal attempt.
Saka put it right there. Golden's had 10 receptions in the year this year. He comes inside release, little play action pass, breaks it to the sideline. It's hits him right in the face. You got to make that catch. That could have possibly been a first down too if he turns it up.
Okowski's punt spirals, not going to turn over, and the rocket will not even go toward it. Takes a Notre Dame bounce and has been down just inside the 25-yard line. 2:13 left until halftime. Notre Dame 21-7 with 2:13 left until halftime. The ITT Hartford Student Athlete of the Game is quarterback Rick Meyer of Notre Dame in business administration with a GPA of 2.9. He's a sophomore here for the Fighting Irish. I know it is a distraction at any school when you're a quarterback, but to be quarterback of this school and to maintain a 2.9 is extremely good.
A lot of ghosts that you're chasing out there.
Culver gets the handoff on the delay, and he is close to the first down as he brings it out to the 35. And let's go down to the sideline and Neil Lomax.
Well, Gary and Ron, you guys were mentioning about the films that Penn State watches against the Notre Dame team. The same way defensively, Jerry Sandusky was talking to his linebacker saying, hey, you remember on films, the gaps are really big. We got to shoot those gaps to put a lot of pressure on that running game, or we're not going to stop the Notre Dame offense. Back to you guys.
Culver comes in, or check it, Brooks comes in a tailback. He gets the handoff and will have the first down as he takes it out across the 40. Bonner there defensively for the Nittany Lions.
Derek Bonner is just a freshman, number 35, and he's their third leading tackler on this football team. And if you want to know the reason why, he plays short side corner, and he's almost the fourth linebacker in that defense. He lines up very close to the line of scrimmage, and he gets to the weak side of the formation and makes a lot of tackles.
Meyer rolls the pocket and incomplete. Smith, the intended receiver, down at the 48-yard line. It was Leonard Humphreys who was covering, and that'll stop the clock with 1:21 until halftime.
Meyer's got a very crisp arm, throws very well running to his left. You know, a lot of people think quarterbacks, it's tough throw to your left. It is when you're under pressure and you're trying to throw the ball straight downfield. But you get your shoulders open, and you do have the ability to throw to your left near the sideline. It's kind of a nice throw for quarterbacks.
Pitch back, and on the reverse, Ismail gets by one, gets by two, hang on, and belted out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
Whoa. Where do I make my phone call after this run? He could have been stopped 3 times.
Well, check out these numbers right here. 17 career touchdowns, almost 62-yard average per touchdown. TD just about 17 times that he touches the ball, and on kick returns for touchdown.
That was neat. Did you see that little rocket, the Golden Dome rocket right there? I like that.
And he noticed it. Third down and very short. Straight ahead is Culver, and he'll have the first down.
All right, little reverse action. Penn State will read this. The defense will read this. This play should not work. Whoop, little fake out right there. Another one right there. One more to the outside. Little speed now. 4 guys had opportunities to get Rocket in the backfield or for a short gain. He gets it to where they can have inches for a first down and makes the play go.
So first down, and the clock now running. They have just moved the chains. It is 57, now 56 seconds. Meyer hit from behind and sacked at the 47 by Goganis.
That was a coverage sack right there. Rick had no one to throw to. Took a little bit too long. He had to eat the ball. Would have been nice to throw it away on this one. He knows from the backside he has pressure. No one to throw to. He waits, he waits. Here comes Goganis. Watch out. Puts the sack on him.
So Notre Dame calls a timeout. We'll take it with them. 36 seconds left until halftime.
Dick, it's Charlie. We're in. That is, if Roman likes our work. He wants...
36 seconds left until halftime. Notre Dame 21-7. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, it's the Railback Halftime with Tim Brando and Lee Corso. They'll bring you up to date on scores and highlights. And also, let's have some more fun with who is your Heisman ballot going to? The 900 number, they will give it to you at halftime. Virginia has been upset today. And also their quarterback, Mr. Moore, having surgery on a thumb because of an injury in that ball game.
Surprised me there, said he'd be out 3 weeks. That's a very serious injury, a throwing injury to your right thumb.
Second down, Notre Dame. They need the 38. Only 36 seconds to work with. They set the screen to Ismail in the middle. Gets to the sideline, and he is tripped up just as he cuts it open by Willie Thomas. If Willie doesn't get him, I think it's bye-bye.
This is a middle screen to a wide receiver. Watch the lineman go downfield. Ismail must stay behind the line of scrimmage, and those linemen are in front of him. It's a screen, a middle screen to the wide receivers. Watch this forearm. Absolutely classic. And if Willie Thomas doesn't get him by the ankles, the scoreboard changes.
Derek Brown with a very good block in the play. Irish from the 25. Meyer looked as though he's going to run, and he just throws that one away. Waters was the closest man to it. It'll stop the clock with 7 seconds left. Ravati is the man who was pressuring, number 94.
Ismail is limping. He came off. I don't know if he twisted or pulled that thigh a little bit, but he did come off. 7 seconds to go right now. I think they're going to go field goal and just get it over with. Yes, they are.
102 total yards for the Rocket Man so far. 22 rushing, 69 receiving, and 11 on returns. This is going to be a 43-yard attempt. Hendrick is 15 of 18 on the year. Missed one earlier. This is a line drive kick off to the right, and that's just like that favorite 7-iron shot that you came up to look at before you hit it.
Well, that's something you're not supposed to say on the golf course. You're not supposed to say shank. Well, I wonder if kickers have the same theory about not saying it.
It looked like he rushed it just a little bit. Came off of it.
I don't know if it was a bad hold or what right here, because it definitely did not even come off clean, and it wasn't even close. Never even got up more than 10 yards in the air. Let's see if we can take a closer look at that. Little penetration from the inside, but that didn't cause any problems. We really can't tell if he just caught it too high or was a little bit of a bobble on the snap.
3 seconds showing on the clock till halftime. Saka, and he's going to put it up. Over the middle, this is Collins at the 40 and out to the 47, 48-yard line. Todd Light will make the stop, and both teams will head to the locker room. It is halftime. Raghib Ismail leads his team into the locker room as the Irish, the first 2 times they touched the football this afternoon, put it in the end zone, and the Nittany Lions had to start fighting uphill from there. They cut it to 14-7, and then the Irish made it 21-7. Let's go down to the field to Neil Lomax.
Well, guys, Coach, your offense can't execute any better than that in the first half.
Well, we played awful well. We didn't get as many points as what we'd like to, but Penn State's a good defensive football team. Rockets banged up pretty much. We're just going to have to go in and come back out second half, but we got to play a little better on defense.
It looked like you really used him everywhere. Wide receiver, flanker, the reverse. I mean, punt returns, kickoff returns. What's his condition right now?
Well, he got a bad thigh bruise. He hasn't been able to practice much all week, but you know, we'll just have to play without him if need be. But he's a great football player, and our players have played hard.
Okay, good luck second half. Thanks. Back upstairs, Ron.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Don't forget, coming up, the Railback Halftime Report with Tim Brando and Lee Corso. Right now, let's go to a break. Notre Dame 21-7.
ESPN's coverage of college football continues. Now with all the scores and highlights, Tim Brando and Lee Corso.
We welcome you to the Railvac Halftime Report. I am Tim Brando. You will be hearing from the coach in just a few short moments on a day in Saturday when a lot of Bulls are once again on the phones again. First of all, we want to update you on our telepoll for the Heisman Trophy, the 1-900 number, 1-900-786-2255. As you might expect, with Notre Dame on right now and with Raghib Ismail playing perhaps his best first half of the year, he has 45% of the vote. Ty Detmer with 26%, Bieniemy with 23%. Sean Moore injured earlier today, and we'll talk more about that. Out for 3 to 4 weeks with that right thumb injury. He has 5%. David Klingler, as you might expect after losing last week, down to only 1% of the vote. All of the precincts, though, not reporting. Now let's talk about Bieniemy and company. Colorado with 456 yards in total offense in the first half alone. With the win, they will become the first team outside of Nebraska and Oklahoma to win consecutive Big 8 titles since 1946 and 47. Oklahoma State and Iowa State 25-17. Pat Jones comes away with a victory. They finish 4-7. The Cyclones 4-6-1. Missouri and Kansas 31-21 the Tigers. This completes their 100th season with win number 500, the Missouri Tigers. And the Orange Bowl, just pencil it in, Colorado versus Notre Dame. And even if the Irish were to lose one of their 2 remaining games, you have to believe they could jump their way back to number 1 with a victory over Colorado. History points to that fact. Virginia and Maryland, let's talk about this, the game of the day, the impacts and of this game to echo throughout the remainder of the month of November. Let's show you what happened in this one. The key in the game, this run. Mark Mason from 8 yards out to make it 35-28. Then Virginia with a chance to win it on 4th and 2. This is where Moore is hurt, and it is his right thumb as he goes down, sacked by Lewis Johnson. Maryland gets the win. Joe Krivak in desperate need of it. They take a safety, Dan DeArmas, the punter, at the end of the game. Smart move by the coach. 35-30, the final in the game. A couple of touchdown runs for Mason. Scott Zolak also with 2 touchdown passes in the game. The Sugar Bowl, you ask? The Southeastern Conference champion, either Ole Miss, Tennessee, or Auburn, will take on Virginia. Virginia, you gotta believe, a team with 2 losses. Virginia Tech coming up next week. This will not be a pretty sight for Mickey Holmes. But we talked with Mickey Holmes, and he assures us that Virginia will be the team that is there. High marks for integrity, low marks for television ratings for Holmes and the Sugar Bowl people.
Well, you got to give Mickey a lot of credit. He said that they would be there next week. I heard him say this with my own ears. They will be here next week to hand the bid to Virginia and Blacksburg. It's hard for me to believe, but he said it.
Well, the bottom line is the bowls are brokered now by conferences. Deals have already been cut. Holmes knows that, and so he does have high integrity, and so does the bowl. The bottom line is the system stinks. The bottom line is the system stinks, and we're going to have more of these cases coming up as long as the deals are made as early as they are. They'll be even earlier next year, won't they?
You think it stinks this year? Wait till next year. The NCAA is going to wash their hands of this situation. They can't control it. Remember, this is November the 17th. The bids aren't supposed to be out till next week, and everybody's set. Next year, the NCAA says, forget it. You Bulls handle it yourself. If they like Notre Dame well enough, they can give them the bid in August.
Yeah, actually, January 2nd, I look for that. The Orange Bowl will have them on January 1, then they'll sign them to a multi-year deal for January 2nd. Now, Georgia Tech and Wake Forest, can you imagine this? The Ramblin' Wreck rolling over Bill Dooley's Demon Deacons 42-7. South Carolina and Clemson 24-15. The Tigers get the victory for Coach Hatfield. South Carolina still with an outside shot at the Poland Wheat Eater Independence Bowl. Now, let's talk about North Carolina and Duke, 24-22. Mack Brown on his way to a 6-4-1 campaign prior to perhaps moving to LSU as Mike Archer's replacement. Now, the standings in the ACC look this way. Georgia Tech 6-0-1, 9-0-1 overall. But imagine this, Virginia at 5-2 will go to the Sugar Bowl. Take a look at the situation in the Citrus Bowl. It will be Georgia Tech and Nebraska. The payout for the Ramblin' Wreck, 1.2. The payout for the team they beat that may have 3 losses, 3.1. That's the situation we're talking about. The system does stink. Now, Boston College and Miami in the second quarter, 14-6 the score in that ball game. Erickson with a 6-yard TD pass, also Foley with a touchdown pass for the Eagles of Jack McNell. Stay with us, more scores as we go to break on this Railvac Halftime Report.
the second half. They lead at 21-7, and they hold a huge edge in the stats. Almost 300 total yards in that first half of play. And let's show you some highlights, Gary, and exactly why they have dominated.
Well, the story of the game has been the Rocket. They are finding ways to get him the ball. Here he split as a wide receiver, and he comes for a wide receiver middle screen. Once he gets into the secondary, he's potentially can score. Watch the straight arm right there. Runs like a running back, catches like a wide receiver, and he's got sprinter speed. He's getting some Heisman Trophy votes. Now he's going to run the ball. A little reverse here. He's going to make one guy miss, two guys miss, three people miss. Bona misses, and he picks up an important 10 yards for the first down play. Now Penn State had the opportunity. They were moving the football. They had a wide open attack in the first half. Little fake reverse action. Saka gets back in the pocket and hits the big touchdown for the 7 points that Penn State was able to get on the scoreboard. Turning point, I believe, though, Saka was 9 for 15, and he could have been better. That's 60%. Watch the drop on the pass. Al Golden, the tight end, is wide open. This is going to pick up a first down about on the 19-yard line. Following that, they're forced to punt. Notre Dame has a 92-yard drive, and it's 21-7 at half. Penn State still in the football game. They can move the ball. I'm sure Paterno said to the guys, hey, let's play football, put 7 more on the board, see what happens.
Tizen Thomas back along with Shelly Hammonds. That's Tizen right there, number 1. We're about set to get this one underway. Tony Saka loosening up across the far sideline as he knows that the Nittany Lions going to get a chance to cut this to 7. Hammonds 25 at the 30 and is ridden out of bounds close to the 35-yard line. Show you the numbers on the first half. Penn State 9 of 15 for Saka, 7 of 12 for Meyer. Passing yardage almost even, but in rushing yardage, and Garrett, there has been the big difference, and particularly time of possession leading to that.
That's right. That has really kept them off balance. They have really not attempted to run the ball that much. They've just kept the Notre Dame defense honest with the run. They need to run it a little bit more. Saka has to take the plays in front of them. Don't try to force things.
Quick out pass comes to Terry Smith. Breaks by the tackle. You could hear the groan from the crowd. And Devon McDonald makes the play defensively. Let's go to the sidelines, and here's Neal.
Well, Gary, you were talking about Rocket was the entire first half. Well, that's it. I was just talking to Jim Hess, the head trainer. Rocket will not play the second half. Has a very bad deep thigh bruise. We'll keep him out, not going to play, and that's really going to hurt Notre Dame's offense.
Okay, Neil, thanks very much. So Ismail, we can draw a line under his totals. He will play 30 minutes tonight, and that's it. Smith, who just had the reception, now with 2 for a total of 41 yards and a touchdown, and that is a Penn State first down.
That could be an emotional lift to this Penn State football team the next time Notre Dame takes the field. Now remember, on that sideline, they don't know that. We know it. They don't know it yet. When they look out there and don't see the Rocket, they may get fired up. A very important series right here. Same with the defense for Notre Dame. They have to shut them down. They have to play the best defense of the season.
Saka, after the play action, strings it out, continues to string it out, and Light will knock him out of bounds, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at these possessions by Penn State. Punt, they scored on the second time they touched the ball. Then a couple of punts, and then halftime came on them.
Not a lot of opportunities.
No, not many opportunities. You're right. Only 5 times.
And that's what it's so tough. When someone's able to run the ball on you for the type of yards Notre Dame has, you just don't get that many opportunities on offense. You have to make them count.
Second down and 10. Saka, you could see the ball pop up. He is fortunate to have possession because Bob Dahl was right there about to take it out of midair.
You know, there really are no little things in football. People talk about you got to do the little things right. When the little things go wrong, they're big things. This is a quarterback center exchange. Notre Dame was blitzing on the play. Maybe the center's trying a little bit too quick to get out of there. The quarterback's trying to make the handoff a little quicker, and they don't get the basics. But there are really no little things in offensive or defensive football.
I think the expression on Joe's face told the story. It's third down and 10. Saka over the middle, complete to Sales, and he stumbles, and then his tackle. That's going to be short of the first down by about a couple. Stonebreaker is there defensively.
Really nice play right here. What he's going to do is set up a fake screen to the outside. The tight end will delay Rick Salas to the left of your screen. Saka has to get rid of this ball. Watch the lineman go to the right, pumps it, hits the tight end right on the money. Don't stumble. You got a first down. Now it's 4th down. He had the potential first down play. They stumbled. Penn State is doing a lot of things right. They're just not finishing the play.
Helkowski to punt. And that one is going to take another Notre Dame bounce and now straightens out around the 22-yard line. 27 yards on the kick. And Helkowski is still looking around. I think he's saying, where was the rocket?
Well, Notre Dame kept their defense on that time and played it safe. They kept just their 11-man defense. But you're right. It kind of surprised him. He's angled it. He tried to put it in there.
He kicked away from him, and he's in the locker room.
What an effect this guy has. But we will not see him, and it's going to be up to the rest of his team to carry this football team now.
Draw play to Waters, nothing there. Lubin Fati defensively makes the play. So igniting the Irish. These are the numbers, 109 total yards for him tonight, and it's not going to change because Rahib will not play in the second half because of that deep thigh bruise. Look at that average. Every time he touches the football, almost 11 yards. Meyer rolls it long. Overthrown. Sean Davis had broken open momentarily at the 45 at the point you made last week, which I think is such a good one. Is still, if you're within a yard or so of a guy on a route that deep, the percentages of getting it complete are not real high.
Well, when you force someone to throw the ball deep, it has to be an excellent throw. You got to, as a defensive back, you have to just keep chasing. Yes, he's beat you by a yard. Don't panic. Don't grab him. Make the quarterback make the perfect throw.
So it's 3rd down. 7 of 13, 140 yards for Myers so far in the ball game. Incomplete. Brown dropped it, had it in his hands, and as he hit the turf, it came out. So Notre Dame 1, 2, 3 and out, and Penn State stands to get some very decent field position out of this.
Penn State blitzes on this play. See D'Onofrio right there. He's going to free up. He's going to help on the tight end, but nice throw right here by Meyer. Puts it right on the money. You got to catch that one, Derek. I know he's upset with it. Could have had a potential first down.
This is the first punt of the afternoon for Notre Dame.
Penn State will end up with good field position if they don't make a mistake.
Entry, great booming spiral. Thomas all the way back to the 28-yard line. Runs into a special teams player at the 40-yard line, and the Nittany Lions will take it over 60 yards away. ESPN's College Football Saturday, Penn State at Notre Dame, is brought to you by Oldsmobile, who invite you to stop by your Oldsmobile dealer and see what's new from the new generation of Olds. And by Goodwrench, the GM service expert at your participating GM dealers. Well, from Rockne to this gentleman right here, who is trying to maintain the #1 spot in the nation, and his ball club leading 21-7, but without one of the real weapons in college football, as Ismail will not play in the second half. And let's see if Penn State can take advantage of good field position. They had it a moment ago, couldn't convert. Stonebreaker steps up into the middle of the line in the blitz, and Leroy Thompson runs right by him and out to the 50-yard line, almost a gain of 10. And let's go to Neil Lomax for an update on the Rocket.
Well, I'm with Dr. Yertle again, and you're my #1 guest tonight, I guess. Give us the update on Rocket. Everybody in the country wants to know.
The Rocket re-aggravated the thigh bruise that he had early in the year that caused him to miss the Stanford game. He took a shot early in the quarter, continued to play on it, but then when he caught that pass right at the end, he broke away, and they grabbed him by the ankle, and he took a sharp lunge, and it just pulled the muscle, so he's out.
Was it a coaching decision or his decision not to play the second half?
He's too sore. He can't play. He's just unable to. He can barely walk right now.
It's amazing he played in the first half. Ron, Gary?
Gash hit in the backfield. Kowalkowski was the first man there, and then hello, big George Williams at 6'3", 298 pounds.
That'll do it. Scotty, I played with his dad. He was a guard for me. And I remember Scotty running around the field on the Detroit line field. It makes you feel old, but he's really playing some good football. He has been changed from a linebacker to playing defensive end, and is doing a good job for him today. He's putting his hand on the ground.
Third down, less than 2, and almost intercepted by Andre Jones. Wow, he could have changed the scoreboard rapidly if he catches that one. So it's 4th down, and Gary, for the second time, Penn State has had awfully good field position and comes away empty.
They might have got to make it go. Tony needs to see that guy, the linebacker, in his peripheral vision. He reads it, steps inside of it, and boy, you're right. Those are scary. You throw those quick outs, and you want to start running as part of your follow-through.
That's Ray Griggs. He is a reserve wide receiver as the deep man for the Irish. And he'll run away from this one, and Penn State is going to down this ball inside the 10-yard line.
The play that Rocket got hurt on, Ron, was this screen, this middle screen to the Rocket. He catches it behind the line of scrimmage. The linemen are in front of him, and he accelerates. First a straight arm, but he pulls it when he gets grabbed from behind on the leg. When he tries to pull through, he has the little pull on his right thigh, and that was the last play for the Rocket. And you know, those thigh bruises, they take a couple weeks. You wonder now, you start beginning to question, will he be ready for next week versus Southern Cal?
Notre Dame from the 9-yard line goes straight ahead with Waters, and he'll pick up 1. Ravati is there to make the stop. And Gary, and given the first half stats defensively, young fellow that has really had a great defensive night for the Nittany Lions is Goganis. He's got 8 tackles, 4 of those solo, and that happened in the first half of play.
Well, he's really coming on strong. He's the second leading tackler for this Penn State defense. Old linebacker Yu, he had 11 tackles last week against Maryland. It was a career high for him.
He's there in the middle. He's number 42, along with D'Onofrio, 38. Counteraction. Waters breaks it open. Caught for the ankle, now breaks it again, and all the way out to the 45-yard line. Humphreys and Thomas on the stop.
Notre Dame is going to go 2 tight ends, isolation up the middle. What you can't see right here is Penn State is 9 people close to the line of scrimmage. When Ricky breaks the line of scrimmage, there's no deep secondary help, and that's when you get the big runs up the middle, popping it into the secondary and nobody there.
And Goganis, who we were just talking about, is the one who tried to grab him with the jersey rather than hit him with a body shot. Brooks will take it for 1. Well, that's one of those things where it's not that you relax, but you think, well, we got them backed up here, and we're going to wind up with a good defensive situation. All of a sudden, they pop it.
Right, and this defense has a lot of pride. They're ranked 4th in the country against the rush. And now if somebody comes out, 2 tight ends, and say, we're going to run the ball on you. You want to get up there, you get aggressive, and all of a sudden they pop one on you, and they're gone.
Calder and Brooks as the setbacks on the 2nd down and 9. Brooks tripped up at the line of scrimmage. He's going to have 2, maybe 3. Ben Foddy, redshirt freshman out of Green Pond, New Jersey, is there to make the hit. 6'3", 270 pounds.
You know, many times, Ron, and you know this as well as I, when your star goes down, everybody steps it up to a little higher pitch. You know, the offensive linemen say, we're going to step it up. Ricky Waters tonight, boy, he's having a good football game again. He's found himself in reading the holes well and hitting it full speed. But everybody's going to have to play it just a little bit harder now.
Turn it up a notch. Meyer under pressure, tries to go forward, and he's going to be sacked. First man to hit him was Ravati, and then Benfati came in, and that's the 3rd sack by Penn State. And with that, the Irish will have to punt it away.
They ran a 1-man pass route that time to Ricky Waters. He was covered, and Rick just didn't have anybody to throw the ball to. He took the sack, nothing stupid, just fall down, let's punt the ball.
Terry Smith and Tizen Thomas, number 8 and number 1, as a dual retreat team. This one's end over end, and it's going to come down to Thomas at the 20. Hit from behind, takes it out to the 35. 37 yards in the kick and 15 on the return.
This is how the roomy new Cutlass Supreme SL.
Notre Dame 21-7 with just about the midway point of the third quarter. This is the third possession, Gary, that Penn State will have gotten the ball in far better field position than what they had early on in the ball game. Well, they got to take advantage of it.
They need to take advantage of it. There's some places to do it. Let's go back to that play action pass, see if those backs are open, and then we'll try to hit the receivers behind it a little later.
Pitch goes to Thompson. The corner turned is Devon McDonald, the junior from Patterson, New Jersey. He's out there to make the hit. Coming up next, Georgia against Auburn, the number 24 ranked team in the nation. That's the oldest rivalry in the Southeast. The Bulldogs and the Tigers. Ludicky, the center, out blocking on that play. You know, he's the one that has the hobby of radio-operated
remote control cars.
Yeah. Saka spins once, spins twice. See what happens here. And has Thompson complete at the 50-yard line. Got a marking just shy of the 50, but that's enough for the first down.
You know, Ron, I always tell my friends there's a ton of guys who can throw the ball in big-time college or professional ball. The trick to being a good quarterback is knowing when not to throw the ball so you get him intercepted. Watch, he steps up here, he wants to throw it. Nope, he's covered. Then he spins around. Then there's one more little thing about playing quarterback. They hit you. And you got to get back up, and you got to do it again.
That was Devon McDonald. You remember his twin brother, Ricardo, plays for Pitt. We had the twin brothers going against each other about 3 weeks ago. Saka's going to run this time. He will have the first down inside the 40-yard line. A Stonebreaker makes the stop. And right now, the Nittany Lions taking advantage of the good field position.
Quarterback draw is very tough to defense. You account for all the players. You don't account for the quarterback. With a four-man line, you run to the hole in the middle. Good job by that offensive line getting Tony into the secondary. Run forward. This guy's big. He does not slide. He takes on those little defensive backs.
Gary Darnell being covered up by the official right there on the near sideline, the defensive coordinator for the Fighting Irish. Leroy Thompson, right side, hit hard by Bob Gall. The senior from Chagrin Falls will knock him down after a gain of 3. Chagrin Falls, beautiful little community just outside of Cleveland, Ohio.
East side of Cleveland. A little bit in the snow belt, as we were talking about before. But we don't have any snow here. You know, you don't play many games in November up here with this type of weather. It is a beautiful day.
You know, someone said at halftime a week ago, a year ago, I should say, Friday, that over 6 inches was on the ground or had already been recorded. Markers go down to tell you what, we have not had many penalties in this ball game.
And that's not surprising. With the 2 coaches we have in this football team, they are, you know, they stress the basics, no penalties, don't beat yourself, and you're correct. They have done a good job.
Now, the lecture that Lou was giving to his team on Thursday afternoon was, he said, those guys think they're better than we are, and they think they're going to come in here and beat us. And, of course, every coach tells his football team that.
Right, and I hope every football team that comes in thinks they're going to do that. That's, what are we here for,
right? No need in being here. Gash was in motion. Saka incomplete, and Salas was opened at the 20-yard line. Breck is a junior from McKeesport, actually a redshirt, so he still has this year and 2 more years of eligibility.
Tony Sack was a little upset with that. He threw it a little high, but this was a catchable football. A little play action fake. Same play that was dropped earlier by Golden. This time he goes to Salas. Nice throw, nice protection. A little high. Yeah, that was been a tough catch by Salas. A little high. Tony needs to keep that down in the range for those big tight ends.
He's now 12 of 20, 165 yards. On 3rd down, Saka. Flag goes down at the line of scrimmage. Throws it complete to his tight end, Al Golden, and he is close to the first down. Now let's get the marker at the 35. That was kind of a tweener as far as where it was thrown, Garrett. Defensive holding?
I believe it was holding on Golden right there is what I saw in the secondary.
Offensive, huh?
No, the defensive holding on Al Golden, who held Golden. I'm sorry. Nice job by Tony again, though. Held in the pocket, and did a good job finding the open receiver. All this technical stuff, right, Ron? We're communicating.
The bottom line is it was a golden hold. And it's the first down will be achieved by Penn State.
Against the defense, against an eligible receiver, before the ball was thrown. This penalty carries a 10-yard penalty and a first down. That penalty will be declined. The run is a first down.
That's right. Tony was happy for that. He gets the stat, the first down, and Al was happy for it. That's first down. You know, this is a close football game. 21-7. Notre Dame doesn't have the rocket. Penn State has to feel good about themselves. Let's see if they can stick it into the end zone now.
First down over the middle, and it is complete to Salas, still spinning, and he will be finally stopped at the 15. I believe it's another first down as McDonald made the hit.
Rick Salas, the tight end, on the left side of your screen. He's going to appear, he's going to fake to the outside and then curl back, and Saka puts it right on the numbers. Tony has had a very competitive, good football game today. Remember, he came into this game completing 47% of his passes. He's been pulled from a couple games, and he's doing the job. A game that they can win. They're going to be just short of the first down.
Salas had 9 catches for 148 yards coming into this ball game tonight. And now Golden will come back in, replacing him.
The other thing we could see from that replay, Ron, was the deep zones that Notre Dame plays. They're going to let you throw the ball in front of them. As a quarterback, you have to take what they give you.
Penn State is moving right into a portion of the student section and the band, and they're trying to help out.
And the crowd has not been a big factor so far. It has been very quiet. This is the first time I've heard it.
Thompson cuts behind his block, and boy, does he get belted down by Zorich. And let's go to Tim Brando. What kind of update do you have, sir?
The championship of Los Angeles, Ron. That's what I've got. Tommy Maddox looking to throw in the tip drill. Jason Oliver with the interception after the tip by Stephon Pace and Reggie Moore. And the Trojans, who are waiting for Notre Dame, take a 10-point lead early in the fourth quarter. Let's get back to Notre Dame. Ron and Gary.
Well, Timmy, as you well know, anytime these two schools, Notre Dame and SC get together, fireworks. Thompson cuts it up the middle, close to the 10-yard line. Demetrius DuBose and Kowalski there to make the hit.
Right now, the plays that we're working all the way down the field, the soft zone gets a little tougher to throw against. They're not going to give you that nice short pass. It's going to be difficult to hit the backs. Now Tony is going to have to make the tough throw. I don't think they can run the ball in from the 10-yard line. Look for him to come up with some type of a screen or crossing route and see if they can get into the end zone with the throw. Maybe Tony on the run also.
Second down, Penn State. They need the 3. Here come the backers. Saka puts it up quickly, incomplete. Daniels is who he wanted, but all kind of pressure coming from inside and out. Andre Jones and Stonebreaker blitzing.
Stonebreaker is so good at guessing that snap count and hitting it on the run. He caught Tony a little bit off balance. He rushed it, and Daniels broke his pass off, and Tony was thrown to the back corner. A little miscommunication from the receivers and the quarterback on that play. 3rd and long, very tough situation. How about a quarterback draw?
Saka, better hurry, not in time. Greg Davis. Way back outside the 20-yard line. That's a loss of 12.
They tried to roll out to the left side of the formation and flood the zone. Nobody's open. Tony tries to run away from it, but not quick enough to get away from Greg Davis, number 26. Here's the reaction from your coach. No, throw it away. Oh, boy. Not what he wanted. Throw it away. There you go.
Yep, that's the reason for the gesture. Fayak with a 39-yard attempt. He has the distance, and it is no good. Off to the right. Boy, Penn State has really squandered some opportunities here in the second half. Timeout on the field. Irish by 14. And don't miss the NFL game tomorrow night. Misters Patrick and Theismann will be there. Our situation 21-7. And Notre Dame, their offensive team, before they went on the field, Coach Holtz called them over, similar to what he did last week at Tennessee. And after that meeting, they marched down the field for a touch.
And very effective. And that's what he's trying to do. He's saying, guys, we need some more points. Penn State is moving the ball.
Well, the scoring summary, Ricky Waters from 22 yards out, 7-0 Irish. Next touching to the football, this time it was Brooks from 13 yards, 14-0. But Tony Smith on a 32-yard pass from Saka made it 14-7, and then 21-7 as Meyer sneaked it in from 1 yard out. And that's how we stand right now. However, in the second half, and looking at yardage after Notre Dame really had 291 yards in the first half, they have only 33 total yards in the second half, and it's 2:40 to play third period. Quarterback draw, and D'Onofrio is right there. Number 38 steps up into the hole and makes the hit.
If you want to know what effect the Rocket has on an offense, just look what you're seeing here. I don't think I've seen a guy in sports have as much effect without the ball on an offense in really any sport. I try to think maybe Bill Russell for the Boston Celtics had that kind of effect on a basketball game.
Away from the ball.
Away from the ball. When he doesn't have the ball, he's so valuable. You're seeing what's happening to this offense for Notre Dame right now without the Rocket in the game.
Once, then drills it complete. That's Sean Davis out across the 40-yard line. Darren Perry was there to put the stop on it. Darren leads this Penn State club in interceptions with 6. He's a great high school quarterback.
He was a quarterback in high school. You're right. This is a deep double zone. Sean Davis is going to come inside, pressure the deep safety, and roll to the outside. Nice job by Meyer here, putting it in a position where just Davis can catch the ball. A typical pattern against the 2 deep double zone safeties deep.
Pressure from the backside, and Meyer never saw him and throws it incomplete to Brown.
Boy, I would like to play this position if I was on Penn State. Short side corner. Derek Bonner from the backside comes. It's a little play action pass, and he is coming. He can feel, oh, I want this sack. National television, here I come. Don't throw it. You don't hear me, do you? Meyer just gets rid of it. You're right, Ron.
The crowd was letting Meyer
called. The crowd alerted him to get rid of it, and he almost completed that pass. That'd be a fun position to play, though. Weak side corner for Penn State.
Now 8 of 16, 169 yards for Meyer. Sings it, intercepted D'Onofrio. He's got blockers in front of him. Davis from behind, and Davis will make the tackle. Penn State with a first down just outside the 10.
He had blockers in front of him, but he had sprinters behind him, and he didn't make it to the goal line. Notre Dame says they have it. Right here, Penn State gave the look of man-to-man, but it was really a zone. There you see him reading his eyes, cuts in front of the curl, and he's thinking touchdown right now. Meyer buys him some times, and then Sean Davis comes from behind and causes a fumble right there, but they gave the
19 interceptions for Penn State this year. The first for D'Onofrio.
Again, Notre Dame is huddling on the sideline. Penn State says, let's go run a play. Who are we waiting for here?
Now the crowd is waking up. Collins in at the line of scrimmage, and there's nothing. Maybe a gain of a half-yard. Eric Jones, a sophomore from Portage, Indiana, comes up to make the big stick on it.
Ron, Notre Dame also has 2 true freshmen in their secondary now. Number 9, Jeff Burris, and number 32, Willie Clark. Just 10 days ago, both of them were on offense running tailback. You don't think things are tough in Notre Dame? When you're giving up 406 yards, they go over to the offense to find guys to play.
That's a quick transition. Saka looking at a blitz. Incomplete, he got it away. Chris Zorich was all over it, and it's going to be third down. That was Greg Davis who was coming with a blitz.
You're right. Notre Dame has been blitzing. They've come after him from the 10-yard line right here. No deep, soft zones. They're getting up man-to-man, little play-action pass. Greg Davis comes in on the safety blitz. Saka beats him, but there's Zorich, and there's no in the grasp in college football, so that is a legal play.
LaBraca comes in from the sideline, the redshirt freshman from Bayville, New Jersey. He is at wide receiver along with Daniels. Saka wants his tight end, and did he have possession? Yes, Rick Salas.
Salas juggled it. Nice touch by Tony Saka here. He beat the freshman, Jeff Burris, to the corner. Not a very tough route. Got behind Burris, and the touch pass right over the top. What a play.
I'll tell you, sir, he juggled this thing for 3 steps. The pass was thrown perfectly, about 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he juggled it all the way to the end line. And the official had to wait to make sure he had possession before he stepped out of the bag. Point after is good by Fayak, and we have a brand new ball game at 21-14.
You'll see Penn State come with the blitz again, the third straight play up the middle with the linebackers. Tony knows it's man-to-man, inside fake by Salas, over the top, over Burris' hand. Now juggle, oh man, get it. Yes, the referee is right there. Second look from the sideline. Tony waits, he knows he has him. Little touch pass over the outstretched jump. Oh, 1 foot closer.
If he had not paused,
Tony's going, catch it. That feels good.
15 of 25 for Saka for 199 yards and 2 touchdowns. And as I said a moment ago, we have a brand new ball game. We have a situation where offensively Notre Dame has had worlds of problems moving in the second half, and now here comes Penn State.
Ron, I believe that outside of Rocket, Lou Holtz now has to look to Rick Meyer. I know you're only a sophomore, but it's been a long season. You've been through a lot right now. Come step to the forefront. You've got to lead us and win this football game right now. He can't protect him any longer. They need some production, and at this point, you got to look to your quarterback.
Well, who are they going to send back? There you see number 9, Jeff Burris. One of the young men we were talking about just a moment ago. An offensive back who, well, the offensive coaches think he could really be super, but they need him on defense. We said, what about next year? We can get him back. And they said, good heavens, let's get 1990 taken care of first. Now we'll see what he can do. Nope, going to be taken away. Rod Smith still on his feet across the 25 into the 28-yard line. Well, NFL game day at 11:30 Eastern time tomorrow, and then after the afternoon games are over, the guys will come back and put a period on it. NFL prime time at 7 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow here on ESPN. And then tomorrow night it is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
That Pittsburgh defense is doing some hitting. They've got a fine young secondary, and they are really stepping up in the AFC Central.
Meyer in the third quarter is 1 of 5, 1 interception for 21 yards. Straight ahead with Culver this time, though, as they go to a little option series. Giannetti is there defensively. You see number 55, Mike Helton, senior from Tampa, Florida, the center for the Irish. And yesterday, Pete Cordelli said this young fella probably is the most underrated player on this Notre Dame football team. Doesn't get the credit, but we really need him. That's the end of the third quarter. Notre Dame 21, Penn State 14. Well, hang on. We have what shaping up to be a pretty exciting fourth quarter here. Our score, Notre Dame 21-14. But in case you have joined us late, the Rocket is out of the ballgame. He played the first half, re-injured his thigh. And I would remind you that the only game he did not play in this year was Stanford. And that's the only loss of the Irish side of the ledger. Straight ahead with a handoff and hit immediately by Ben Fadi. That's going to be a loss of a couple on the play, and the Irish will look at a 3rd down and about 7, Gary.
I don't believe Notre Dame is going to be able to hand the ball off to the fullback and run against this fine Penn State team. There's no rocket to be involved with right now. They're playing the run. Lou needs to open it up and let Rick win it.
Culver comes out. Jerome Bettis, the freshman from Detroit, comes into the backfield. Meyer on 3rd down. Leads the 39, and he's going to be sacked this time. Ravati. That is the 4th sack tonight by the Penn State defense.
Well, Ravati, I'll tell you, he just comes out of nowhere here. He takes it inside. Nobody blocks him. A missed assignment. Either the tackle didn't turn out or the guard was supposed to pop out. But those are the easy ones when you just get to run in there and hit the quarterback from behind.
Hendrick into punt. Line drive spiral. Smith at the 35, and he is pushed out of bounds at the near sideline at the 36-yard line by Don Grimm. And let's go to Tim Brando and get still another update. Tim.
Terry Donahue trying to avert a losing season for the 2nd consecutive year, getting some help from the striped shirt. Scott Miller had already caught 1 touchdown pass. We could call this the Michigan rule. Watch Miller on the receiving end from Maddox. Into the end zone. Does he bring it in? No. They get credit for the touchdown. Should not have. UCLA leads 35-31. Maddox has 3 TD passes in the game, Ron.
Wow. We almost had one of those a moment ago here with the juggling act by Salas, but he gathered it in. And Saka's going to go long. Daniels incomplete. That's a nice job defensively by the freshman, Jeff Burris. That pass really got away from him.
Yes,
it was really
you're right.
wobbly.
Daniels got behind him, but Tony did not throw a good ball. It fluttered and it kind of died. Watch David Daniels, number 2 receiver. He gets deep fast. You know, that's what's so tough about going from offense to defense. You know, you can be fast, but to turn with those good speed receivers is a skill all on its own, and playing corner is a very tough position. You know, I think Jeff Burris will be begging to go back with offense if he has another one of those.
Draw play to Thompson. Hit at the line of scrimmage. That is a great play by Stonebreaker. Boy, big upset in women's tennis today as Sabatini wins over Steffi Graf in the semis of the Virginia Slims tournament.
Mike Stonebreaker, of course, the All-American, played in the 1988 National Championship football team, sat out last year with the suspension and came back this year and is having a great football season. He has great instincts to the football.
3rd down. They need the 46. Saka has Thompson right over the middle, and he is not going to have the 1st down. Gary, if he takes it straight up the field, he's got the 1st down. He tried to do too much juking.
You're right, Ron. That's the situation where you have to know where that 1st down play is. He's got the short throw on the 1st down.
Spot, though.
Look at the deep zone. Actually, Notre Dame is doubling the outside guys with the deep defense, and the linebackers are 20 yards deep. He's got an easy 1st down. You're a fullback. Just run up in there and get the ball. Come on, Leroy. That is too big of a 1st down to turn down on your own.
They gave him a very good spot, though, and because of that, he may have the 1st down. In fact, he does.
Well, he had it measured then because he had an easy 3 or 4 more yards if he just splits the defense and picks up the sure 1st down.
I can promise you, though, that Fran Ganter, the offensive coordinator, and Coach Paterno will say something when they view the film on that, but just take it straight up the field and get the 1st down, then get whatever else you can.
As a viewer, you see the type of zone that Notre Dame is playing throughout the year. That's why those short passes are there.
Thompson hit by Dahl, who was being blocked on the play, and he's knocked down for a 4-yard loss. Oh, that is a superb defensive effort by Bob Dahl. Storyline through 3 quarters. Ismail, 109 yards. He's out for the entire 2nd half. D'Onofrio, a 38-yard interception return. Saka now 16 of 27, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the first half, 291 for Notre Dame. In the second half, 52 total yards. Stonebreaker with the blitz, and the pass incomplete. Daniels didn't turn around. Boy, Tony just had to get rid of it. He knew he was about to lose his head.
Mike Stonebreaker is so good at timing out these snap counts. He hits them full speed. He just gets a sense for the snap count. And as Tony looks to his left to throw, he's going to catch a train on the right side of him and get buried into the ground. And that's what all the good linebackers do to you, Ron. They bury you. After they tackle you, they don't just throw you down. They bury you into the ground.
Worst feeling in the world is to have your lineman in the huddle taking the grass off your face mask. Penn State, 5 of 11 on third down conversions. They need the Notre Dame 44. Fake the screen to the left and overthrows Gash on the right. Oh my goodness, and he was out there with blockers. Gary, from a momentum standpoint, that is a huge series for the Notre Dame defense.
It was a big stop. Remember, they scored the touchdown after the interception. They got the ball in bad field position. So far this half, Notre Dame has bent defensively, but outside of the turnover down to the 10, have done a pretty good job of keeping the Penn State offense out of the end zone.
Elkowski has pressure on him, and he gets it away. Griggs is the deep man. He'll run away from it. And the Nittany Lions are going to touch this one down inside the 15-yard line. So let's take a break. Notre Dame leading by 7. ESPN's College Football Saturday, Penn State at Notre Dame, is brought to you by Dodge. For performance, quality, safety, and value. Welcome home, America. And by the U.S. Navy. You and the Navy, full speed ahead. Part of the capacity crowd here at Notre Dame Stadium, the last home game of 1990. Ron Franklin along with Gary Danielson and Neil Lomax. Here's our situation. We have 11:28 left to play in the ball game. Notre Dame 21, Penn State 14. And at halftime, Raheem Ismail, well, they checked him out. He has had a pulled thigh muscle, and he pulled it a little bit more in the first half on a play right toward the end of the first half. He has not played, nor will he play here in the second half of action.
And it's had a huge effect on the football game. Not only is Notre Dame unable to move the ball offensively, but the field position of the game has changed. You notice the last time Penn State punted, Notre Dame went with the block. You don't block when Raheem has a potential of getting and having a punt return. The ball lands on the ground and rolls inside the 14-yard line. So field position has changed. He is just such an unbelievable influence on a football game.
Well, there's an example of what you're speaking of as far as field position first half compared to field position second half. And Penn State's has improved considerably. Waters, nothing doing there. And let's go back to Tim Brando for still another update. Tim.
The clock could be striking midnight for Billy Brewer, Ron. It's 20-7 now with under 3 minutes to play. Greg Burke with his second field goal of the game. The Rebels do have the football. Let's get back to your game.
Okay, thanks, Tim. So Ole Miss is going to have to strike in a hurry. Just over 3 minutes to play in that one down at the Liberty Bowl Stadium in Memphis. Waters has 5, 6, 7, and 8, and he's going to be shy of the first down. And let's go to Neil Lomax to get a report. Neil?
Well, guys, there's no question. I've been down here for about a quarter. Big momentum change the last 15, 16 minutes. But both coordinators have emphasized, hey, just because Rocket's out of the game, let's don't give up now. They got some talent with Meyer and Waters and defensively. So these guys are still trying to pump up and win this football game. But right now, momentum's on their side.
Penn State is asking for a timeout on this third down and about a yard to pick up.
I think what caught him off balance there is he got a little better spot than Jerry Sandusky, the defensive coordinator, thought, and didn't have the right personnel in the game. And it's a crucial time, you know, with 10 minutes to go. He'd like to get a stop here with great field position.
That carry for Waters just a moment ago, his 16th carry for 111 yards. And you might remember that last year, Penn State gave up 425 yards rushing to Notre Dame. That was the most ever given up by a Joe Paterno team.
course, Tony Rice had a big part, the great option quarterback from Notre Dame last year, and they hurt him a lot, I think, with the option football, and that's very tough to defense. This year, it's been a little bit different. They've been building an offense around the Rockets, and now without him in the game, they've stumbled a little bit here in this third and beginning of the fourth quarter.
You know, you mentioned Rice. Strong safety Darren Perry for Penn State, being a high school quarterback when he was redshirted his freshman year. He played on what they called a foreign team, and he said every week he was someone different. One week he was Don McPherson, the next week he was Tony Rice, and also Major Harris because of his running ability.
You know what's funny is when he said all his friends back home, you said, how can a sissy quarterback play hero for Penn State? Now you see the goal line defense that they've switched to.
Third and less than a yard, and the handoff straight ahead, I don't know. Very, very close. Yep, and from the spot from the linesman on the near side, that's going to be enough. From where he is standing, that would be enough for the Notre Dame first down. Giannetti is down at the bottom of that pile.
Joe Paterno knows he has an opportunity to win this football game. You know, nobody's intimidated any longer in this football game. The crowd's not a factor. The band's not a factor. It's just 11 guys out on the football field right now.
There's a first down. Well, here's the play that the Rocket, well, it was his last play when he re-injured the thigh.
The middle screen again, he gets it and he goes, he's in the secondary running, and right at the end of the play he gets grabbed by the right foot, and when he tries to pull, I think that's when he pulled the thigh muscle again.
You can see D'Onofrio in the blitz, and Jeter is right there. Jeter knocked him down. D'Onofrio, number 38, coming inside with the blitz, and McKenzie also was there to help make the stop.
D'Onofrio times out the snap count right here, feels it and hits it full speed. Those are tough to pick up. You know, you got a guy pulling on the line and he clips him a little bit from behind, but those are the ones that makes the quarterback get out of the pocket real quick. Mark D'Onofrio come into the game as the leading tackler for Penn State. He's had a good football game.
Pitch, and they come on the reverse. Sean Davis tries to turn the corner, and Ben Foddy has a hold of him, and he'll stop him at the 24. Let's go back to Tim Brando.
Ron, this is the second time we've seen this impact the outcome of a football game. Ole Miss had scored to make it 20-13. The extra point to make it 20-14 is blocked. Floyd Miley can return it 4-2, the new rule implemented last year. Remember that game involving Syracuse earlier this year that ended in a tie? The 2 points came to fruition in that game with Pitt. This time, it's the telling points for victory for Tennessee, 22-13 in the fourth.
Okay, thanks, Timmy. Culver in motion, so nobody behind Meyer. Dumps it out, and Derek Brown, the tight end, can't hold on. Goganis tipped the football, I believe, just as it got there, and Notre Dame will have to punt it back to Penn State, and we have 8:42 left of the ball game.
It was the tight end delay again that they hit against the zone early in the game, but this time Goganis played man-to-man coverage. I think we're going to see that no-back offense put to bed by Lou Holtz. They have not had much success with it since the beginning of the game. Penn State has adjusted well.
Hentrick, and of course he has that cast on his left hand. You can see it extended there. He injured that in the Pitt game. Boy, he booms this one. He has not had a problem holding on to the football. Tyson Thomas out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. So we'll take a break. Notre Dame by 7, 8.5 left to play. Notre Dame 21-14. 8.5 minutes left in the ball game. Tony Sacco with great field position at his own 42. Time of possession, second half, Penn State 9:49, Notre Dame 11:41. Fake to Gash, and the quick out pass to Terry Smith, who breaks the tackle. Look out! Inside the 40, and is spun out of bounds at the 34 by Willie Clark. It's a gain of 23. And now, Gary, you might see Penn State try to pick on the youngsters a little bit.
Well, they have Rod Smith back in the football game. This is just a quick screen. Terry Smith's going to get the ball. David Daniels is going to be out there, his partner, blocking, but he beats Light inside with the move. And the freshman safety, Willie Clark, comes by to get him. Willie Clark can run also.
Leroy Thompson, nothing there in the middle of the line, and he's tripped up for no gain. Number 31, Demetrius DeBose, got him with the ankle. And they're going to spot it down. He'll lose about a half yard.
Ron, there's less than 8 minutes to go in this football game. Penn State has to have some sense of urgency now getting up to the line of scrimmage. They don't want to just get 2 more possessions the rest of the game. They feel they can move the ball. They want to get it as many times as they can. Let's get up to the line of scrimmage and hurry up.
Stonebreaker on the blitz. They set screen to the left side. Thompson at the 20, inside the 15 for the Nittany Lion first down, and Zorich is the man who caught him. And on that bad wheel, Howe. He's incredible.
A screen against a blitz. Willie Clark has the screen man to the opposite side. He reads it, comes across. A comeback block by the tight end, Al Golden, springs Leroy into the secondary. When you can hit a screen against man-to-man, you can get a big play. They have to come up and cover the guy.
Blitz again, but it is picked up. Saka throwing back against the grain. It is caught by Golden. Touchdown. So the tight ends have collected their second touchdown passes of the afternoon. Al Golden made the reception. Salas caught one earlier, and they are going for one. If you ask why, there's still 7:15 left in the ballgame. Extra point is good, and we are tied.
Remember earlier, Tony Sacco rolled to the right and then got sacked. We're going to stay here with the action.
We have just had a flag thrown, and the Penn State players were applauding.
I think Chris Zorich got some type of a retaliation penalty.
Personal foul against Notre Dame.
You know, one other point right here. Penn State has the option of moving that ball half the distance and take it, going for 2. Tony's going to roll right, and this is a design play to throw back to the delaying tight end to the opposite side. He gets the ball and powers into the end zone. Let's ISO in here on Golden and see what he does. He delays, and sneaks to the backside. The only person that can make the play is number 7, Andre Jones. Tony gets up to the ball, and he's into the end zone. The tight ends are having the big game. You know, you have an option right there, taking the points off the ball, off the board,
unless it was
2.
post-play, right? If it's a post-play foul, then it has to come on the kickoff.
So they're evidently, though, they're going to take the ball on the 50, and they're going to improve their field position, and maybe they'll pooch one deep and see if they can bottle up this Notre Dame offense again.
Lou Holtz pacing on the sideline. Last week was such a big win down at Knoxville for Notre Dame. We asked Coach Holtz yesterday about how easy is it to get your team's mind off such a big win and focused on this week. And he said, I keep harping to them that, you know, don't listen to the media, don't listen to the fans about how good you are. You better start focusing on the week ahead.
Well, you remember what he said? The toughest thing is the players try to forget about it, but the media and the alumni and the guys in the dorm and, you know, your mom and dad and everybody wants to talk about last week's game, and it's very difficult for a coaching staff to get your team ready to play after a big win. Well, they're in it now, 21-21. The whole season's riding on these last 7 minutes for Notre Dame.
Kicked very high. And this one is not going to be returned. And sometimes I find that a little hard to understand when you have got that short kicking distance. Well, anyway, let's go to Mr. Lomax for an update. Neil.
Well, I'll tell you, I was down here kind of eavesdropping on Rick Meyer and Lou Holtz, and I know you and I, Gary, we've been in this situation many times. A quarterback really dreams of this situation. Hey, I'm in control now. I got to make a big play happen. But I also want to tell him, hey, you got a lot of time. Don't press right now. He's a young man, but a lot of things can happen right now. Rely on your other teammates to make a big play. Don't do it all yourself.
I think that's real good advice. Neal was one of the best at bringing that 2-minute offense in.
Pitch goes to Waters. Has a little opening. Will have 5 on the play as he'll bring it out, maybe 6 out across the 25-yard line.
The seniors have to step up right now for Notre Dame and help Rick Meyer, though. You saw Waters run and explode. Look at what they're missing, though. Look at what the Rocket has done in the 4th quarter. 262 yards. He's averaged 14.5-yard average in the 4th quarter so far. An incredible stat by the Rocket.
Waters hit in the backfield, hit again. He's not going to have the first down. It's going to be a 3rd down situation. And the Irish need their own 30-yard line. Benfati along with Reggie Gibbons defensively.
The Penn State defense has got an emotional lift from 2 big factors. You know, the lack of the Rocket in the game and the success that their offense has had in this football game. They believe now that they can shut down this Notre Dame offense, get it back, and their own offense will put some points on the board.
3rd down. Ball is pitched, and Waters will be hit for a loss back at the 22-yard line. Good heavens, what a great defensive series by the Nittany Lions, and they're going to get the football back with 5:56 to play.
Well, Derek Bonham made the play here at the tackle at the end, but it was the outside linebacker that really made the play. Ravati forced them to pitch, and there's Bonham making the play on the option. The pitch came too early. Bonham, the short side corner. I love that position, short side corner. Remind me to go out for that next time I have a chance. You get to break all the tackles.
Hentrick, great coverage kick, very high. And the ball is whistled in by Tizen Thomas. Fair catch at the 41. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Well, if you went away for a while, that's how we stand. 21 apiece with 5 minutes and 23 seconds left to play in the ball game. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Neil Lomax in South Bend, Indiana. And it is the Nittany Lions with the ball 1st and 10 at their own 41. Counteraction. Thompson hit, and boy was he blasted at the 45-yard line by Bob Dahl. Well, don't forget, 1-900-786-2255. Who was your Heisman choice? Right now, it's the Rocket Man, 58%, Detmer at 21, then Bieniemy at 16, and Sean Moore and David Klingler. 95 cents per call. Help us out. Who was your choice? Saka going long, and Daniels is there, and incomplete. And Gary, Daniels slowed himself down by turning around too quickly.
I think he misjudged the arm strength from Tony Saka that time. He did slow down. He just misjudged the ball like a center fielder in baseball. He had an opportunity to catch this. This was very well thrown. We don't really get to it early enough, but you can see he only missed it by maybe a foot. And the opportunity was there had he run through it to begin with. 3rd and about 7. Notre Dame has been able, if they get a stop right here, they'll have an opportunity to get the ball back in fairly good field position. They need a stop.
3rd down, they need the Notre Dame 49. Pressure from Williams, complete to Thompson, and he'll have the first down at the Notre Dame 45. Demetrius DeBose took his feet out from under it, but Leroy Thompson has the first down after the catch.
Tony Saka did a nice job running away from the pressure. Williams and Kolakowski's right in his face, but number 44 pops up. The running back again, Leroy Thompson's there with a little check down from the backfield. You know, now we're looking at 4.5 minutes to go. Penn State in a position to win this game with their offense at the field at the last couple plays of the game.
Thompson Cuts through the little crack, and he has tripped up. Kowalski got a handout. Had an opening there, and it had closed up as Kowo reached out and tripped him. And it's down at the 41.
You know, Ron, the other thing, we've talked about the missing of Rocket in this game, the effect, but there's also, they're not playing with Chris Zorich at 100% either, and that's affected this defense and their ability to stop Penn State. There's been that big pass rush from the Notre Dame defense, and in this crucial drive, Chris Zorich is not in this football game.
Blitz coming from Stonebreaker. Gash takes it up the middle. Won't have the first down, but he's going to be about within a yard of it as we go to 3.5 minutes to play. Notre Dame 21 and Penn State 21. George Williams was there to make the stop. But Gary, you got to have a first down here, because this, if they run out of downs, would be an attempt of about 52, 53 yards. I think it's too long.
No, I think they're gonna punt the ball if they don't make it here. They need to put the pressure back on Notre Dame. Notre Dame has to win this game for the national championship.
Leroy Thompson, it's Zorich who reached up and belted him, and he's not going to have it. 2:54 remaining. Now 2:52 and 2:51.
Zorich is nowhere near 100% in this football game, but he's out there playing with emotion, and he's a lift to his football team. Here it is, fourth quarter. He's back in the ball game. He rides across the center, tosses him off, and heads up right in the hole. Is that a good football player or what?
And you're right. Helkowski comes on to punt, and Notre Dame has no one back. Takes a Penn State bounce, and it is down at the 7-yard line. And let's go back to Neil Lomax for this update. Neil.
Well, I'll tell you, I was going to mention to you guys that Rick Meyer, the last series on that option, he really took a shot after he pitched the ball, and he's a little woozy. I'm really anxious to see how he comes back from that. It takes his team to possibly his third or fourth classic comeback. Back upstairs to you guys.
Situation, 2 minutes, 15 seconds left in the ball game, tied at 21, and Notre Dame is 93 yards away. Meyer rolls the pocket, delivers the pass incomplete, and Tim Brando has an update for us. Tim.
Ron, a quick update. Tennessee now with the inside track to the Sugar Bowl, 22-13 over Mississippi, and USC and UCLA in the battle in Tinseltown, 45-42. The Trojans get the win. The big pass, Marinovich to Morton in the last minute of play.
Oh. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Neil Lomax in South Bend. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. And the Irish with a 2nd and 10. They're at their own 7-yard line. Draw play to Brooks, breaks it out at the 15, and he has the first down, I believe, at the 17-yard line.
That was a huge play right there.
Whoa.
Getting it out from under your goalpost.
Still close enough that they want to measure rather than just doing it with the eye. As Joe paces across the way, and on the near sideline, the gentleman with the Notre Dame baseball cap is doing his share of pacing.
The second half has been a nightmare without the Rocket. The draw play against the Penn State defense. Look at him read that hole. Nice blocking right there by Mike Helt, number 55, the center. Brooks reads it, finds the opening, and is in there for the first down. A huge first down for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame with all 3 timeouts remaining. Penn State with 2. Meyer straight in the pocket. They try to set screen, and he throws it away. Culver, the intended receiver. I think he could see Dieter right in the middle of the pack, and I'm not so sure he didn't just throw it away, Gary.
No doubt about it. Jim Dieter read it, smelled it out, and got there close enough. You know, as a quarterback, you're looking downfield, and then when you come over there and you see a white jersey from the enemy side, you just can't take the chance on a flat pass on a screen like that.
Second down, that stopped the clock at 1:46. Meyer will keep it himself. He'll have a couple, maybe three, and you can hear the groan from the crowd. I tell you, D'Onofrio has really distinguished himself as another in a long line of really good Penn State linebackers.
Well, Neil Lomax may just have it absolutely perfect. Perhaps Rick Meyer is feeling a little bit groggy, because I'm surprised. They need to throw the ball. They are not going to drive the ball on the ground. No one's stopping the clock. There's a minute 15 to go. They have to throw the ball, or they're going to end up at the best tie in this football game.
Third down. They need the 27. Meyer intercepted. Perry down at the 19-yard line.
Darren Perry, the hero back in this defense, is going to get his 7th interception of the year on an overthrow. This is no great defensive play. He's setting in the deep safety spot, hits him right in the chest. Overthrow by Rick Meyer, and they are in position now on the 19-yard line to take their time. A field goal wins the game.
Perry now with 7 interceptions on the year to lead this Penn State team, who has 20 on the season. Leroy Thompson hit at the line of scrimmage. Bob Dahl will knock him down for no gain.
I'm surprised Notre Dame isn't taking a timeout here. That's their only chance. And they are now. They are calling a timeout.
Stonebreaker calls it to stop the clock at 44 seconds, and we'll take a break with them. Notre Dame 21 and Penn State 21. 44 seconds left in this story. Number 1, Notre Dame 21 and Penn State 21. As Lou Holtz paces the sideline, his ball club has just been intercepted. And the Nittany Lions with a 2nd down and 10 at the Notre Dame 20. Straight ahead goes Saka, and now Penn State says, no, we're not going to take a chance on mishandling. We're going to just take it down as far as we can, call a timeout, kick the field goal, and win it.
Well, I don't understand why Notre Dame's not stopping the clock here. I don't get it.
19 seconds and down to 18. Saka looks across the way. Fayak will have it put on his shoulders, and they call it stopping the clock with 8 seconds remaining.
Couple things here, Ron. I think Joe should have called timeout a little earlier also. In case of a bobbled snap, he could have had 2 tries. Obviously, he's going to go for it on 3rd down right here. He has an opportunity for 2 tries. This now is going to be the basically final play of the game, except for the kickoff and the 12 laterals on the last play of the game that we're
Cue the band, huh? Fayak on the year is 11 of 16. His longest was 50 yards. That was against Alabama. And this is going to be an attempt, it looks like shy of the 25, so it's a 34-yard attempt.
Notre Dame is sitting with 2 timeouts left on the clock. They could, on the scoreboard right now, they could have called a quick timeout right there. You know, I just don't understand why they didn't want to take the timeouts and give one more chance to win the football game.
On game day this morning, hope you saw the interview with Lou Holtz and also with Joe Paterno. And Holtz paid Paterno probably as good a compliment as you can pay somebody. He said, I just don't think there's anybody in the land who can outcoach Joe Paterno.
Well, he was prophetic today without the rocket.
Craig Fayak. He's got it. Showing on the clock, and Penn State, the players ran back to the other side of the field to make sure they did not get an unsportsmanlike penalty here, because Notre Dame still will get to see the football again, onside or not.
I don't think anyone could quite explain the emotions of a loss in this type of situation or a win in this type of a situation on both sidelines unless you've been out there and experienced Something like it happening to you in your career. Penn State came in here. They didn't know if they could play with these guys. Everybody's questioned their schedule and who they've played. Of course, Notre Dame playing for the national championship at home. Senior day, the most celebrated and successful senior class ever at Notre Dame here. As far as success, Vayak splits this one right down the middle, no doubt.
Well, he's got a smile, but he didn't get overly excited, did he?
On the sideline, they're holding hands. They're looking around. Come on, please. We did it. We came in here and we did it. 4 seconds to go. I really want to salute Tony Sacca. He's been under so much scrutiny the last couple years. A very highly recruited high school player came in here. He narrowed it down to 2 teams, Notre Dame and Penn State. Chose Penn State, and he came in here and took a victory.
Kick is on the ground, which you would expect. Picked up at the 35-yard line, and the clock is down to 1. This ball game is over. Penn State has upset top-ranked Notre Dame.
Lou and Joe Paterno are trying to find each other out there, but they haven't been able to connect yet. Both of them are looking on the wrong side of the field for each other. Look at them both looking for each other. They can't find it. They want to shake hands.
So let's go to Neil Lomax, who is with Joe Paterno right now. Neil, take it away.
Well, Coach, you've won some big games in your 25 years. How's this one rank?
Well, it's a big win. You know, we thought we had a pretty good football team. We played a little tight first half, and then we started to get a little bit more aggressive second half. And you know, it's a good win. Yeah.
With the rocket out there, second half, did that motivate your team?
Well, I don't think so. We were at halftime felt we weren't aggressive enough, and you know, you hate to see anybody lose a game like this. The 2 teams played each other hard. It was a good game.
Congratulations. Gary, Ron?
Okay, Neil, so the story is Penn State down 21-7 in the ball game. And it looked like for all the world that the momentum of Notre Dame was going to carry them to a victory and maybe even a couple of touchdowns.
We talked in the pregame of how when you come into Notre Dame, you can't fall in love with the crowd and the fight song and all the ghosts of past. And Tony Sacca had a lot of criticism against him. I said he had to be about 60% today. He ended up 20 for 34 for 277 and 3 touchdowns. I salute him. He had a great football game.
Well, it's time now to check out and see who our reigning players of the game are. And there's the gentleman you're talking about, Tony Sacca, Penn State. This is a career high for him, 277 and 3 touchdowns and the Rocket. And I know he only played half, but I think we saw the impact or lack of impact with him either in the ball game or not.
How about when we talked to Joe Paterno Thursday on the phone, he said, where would you like to see the Rocket, a tailback or a wide receiver? What did he tell us? We'd like to see him back home.
Back home in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. So one more look as Craig Fayak nails it from 34 yards. And the Nittany Lions of Penn State, who were fairly good.